Good afternoon all and welcome along to another Racing Post Live. It's Saturday, it's 1:30, it's sizzling out there as we are in the studio. Along with the Betfair Exchange, we're going to have some fun this afternoon. A classic RP Live, dual purpose, you could call us. That's right, Newbury, the best of the action there. We'll be going up to Market Rasen as well. Small matter of the summer plate. Who wins that? Get your jumping hats on, let us know. And we'll pop over to the Curragh as well. Just an Irish Oaks to give you our take on as well. Delighted to be back with you this afternoon. Myself, Dave Orton. Who have we got for you on the panel? Just two of the very best tipsters in the land. Paul Kealy, back on the show.
Sizzling in the studio. It's freezing in here.
That's the whole point, man. We didn't want you boiling over. I mean, you look like a tomato anyway, don't you? I mean, you're always tanned, you know. Yeah. So we don't want you boiling over, man. No, we've got a nice bit of aircon in here.
It's all right. It's all right. It'll be all right for the next hour or so.
Cool,
the second
calm,
hour, I'll be like, come on, let me out.
Yeah, we're going to fly through it though today, Kills. And
yeah,
great to have you back on the show. Everyone will be delighted you are. There'll be people taking you out with the barbecues and all that sort of thing. Give them a wave and all that. And of course, listen, it's snowfall Irish Oaks, isn't it? But you do fancy some bigger prices around that.
Yeah. I mean, the Irish Oaks is one race I won't be getting involved in because it just looks a foregone conclusion, doesn't it? We do not yet know whether she's a superstar. We can only find out whether she isn't. Really,
it's going to be fascinating, though, isn't it?
But yeah, I mean, you know, but the rest of the races, you know, Newbury's got a really, really good card and some interesting, difficult summer jumps on what looks like it might be quite quick ground.
Have you all of a sudden gone, I've got to look at the jumps racing? I bet you've got it all sorted.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't. I must admit, I haven't, paid much attention to the jumps during the flat season. There's too much going on. You can't do it all, can you? But when you realise it's on TV, you've got to get your head down and get into it. So I've spent a fair while on the races, yeah.
Well, lucky Tom Collins is here then. 10-point Tom joins us because he can do it all. We'll leave the States till later on, TC, but great to have you back in the studio. You're doing the trading as well for the Betfair as well. Great to have you, TC.
Yeah, afternoon, Dave. Thought you were going to say I always turned up tanned as well. Absolutely not. I was white as a sheet.
100 to 1 shot for you to come in looking like Keels. I don't know where you go.
It would take years. I literally don't tan. So, yeah, no, looking forward to the action this afternoon. Should be good fun. Fast ground everywhere.
Yeah. Can we get an early big shout from you?
I think Vintage Clarets will win the Super Sprint.
Looks like a match, doesn't it? You're Vintage Clarets as well.
I am Vintage Clarets.
For anyone that wants to know, I'm Chipotle as well. Shall we go over to another sizzler? He's back for another stint. I'll tell you, he looks lean and mean over there in Dublin. It's Barry Orr.
I've got a tan like Kealy there, hands and face only, a golfer's tan.
That's exactly what it is, Baz.
Well, believe it or not, TC plays golf as well. I don't know where he plays it, probably on the Antarctic or whatever. I'm not sure where he is. But Barry, it's great to have you back. Did you miss me last week, man?
I certainly did, but yeah, you did a good rep in the hot seat there, replacing you for a couple of races. Ross Biley, he's a good lad. It was a good panel. There was a bit of crack on as well. So we managed to bank a few quid for the charity. More importantly, £600 we banked it last week. We won. Jeez. And I think we're going to nominate the retraining of racehorses for the charity for the month of July. So 600 quid so far banked for them. Hopefully we can add to that today. And as you know, Dave, I'm just here to show the functionality of exchange and the difference between that and traditional sports books and just some of the different ways you can use the exchange to try to exploit prices and set your own odds and be a price maker or a price taker, all that great stuff, just to show people that. So hopefully we can add to the charity today the 600 that we banked last week.
That's a really good going, Barry. I'll tell you what, at the end of the year, it's all about legacy, everything, isn't it? This year has been superb, mainly thanks to Barry for the charities out there so far. So the retraining of racehorses makes a lot of sense to me. And as Barry said, if you're new to the show, every race, Barry will be giving you a trade on the exchange. We'll be talking about the sports, but though, of course, Barry as well. The 150, which we kick on with, really interesting Steventon Stakes. I believe you're playing 4 places, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a cracking race, isn't it? 4 places on the sports book. You can do anything you like on the exchange, really. You've got each way. You've got traditional 3 places, 2 places, or 4 places. Reverse forecast, all those good markets as well on the exchange. But just to kick off, what I'm going to do, Tom, I'm just going to do a straightforward back on Durab. I like that Snow Lantern form when he tried to give her £5 in the maiden. He went to Newmarket then, a Betfair novice race in Newmarket. He won 6.5 lengths. We haven't seen the second since. Fireworks for the third, fourth and fifth have all won since. He was sent off a 6-1 chance for the Prix de Jockey Club behind St. Mark's Basilica. It was about 6 lengths off him. And he's getting £9 off your favourite Real World, who absolutely broke my heart in Royal Ascot when just pipping my nap at a meeting Astro King. Astro King's let the form down, stepped up to a mile 2 last day in the John Smiths last Saturday. and let the form down a little. And obviously, Real World is stepping up in trip as well here today. But I just think he's obviously a very, very talented horse, and he's dropping back into listed company. Just get him, hopefully, get his confidence back more than anything. And I like that £9 that he's getting as well off the older horses. So just a straightforward back. Happy to be a price taker here. We're going to have 50 quid on him at 4.2 and have him against the field.
Thank you very much, Barry Orr. The opening trade of the day. In then, Gerard went off second favourite, didn't he, behind St Mark's Basilica? The draw probably did him in France as well. Let's have some fun this afternoon. We're starting off. Get your viewer interaction in. You know you make the show. You could do that on YouTube. I always say like and subscribe. The subscribers are going through the roof at the moment. Let us know you're out there. Facebook Live, welcome along to the party. Anything you want to do on Twitter, hashtag what a shout. What do you make of the Derab trade, Kills?
Well, I was going to say, every time I've been on this, and Barry's been on, Barry shot the lights out and had loads and loads of winners. And I was going to think, I'm going to have a little savour on everything Barry does, like, you know, because my mind thinks like that, but it ain't going to be Derab.
I don't know, it's a fair case though, isn't it?
He did make a fair case, but I mean, it was an early stage of Snow Lantern's career, wasn't it? And it was a maiden. Yeah, he's won a novice next time, but he only went off second favourite at the French Derby because the rest were rubbish. I mean, you know, the French had no confidence in any of their horses, did they? And you know, he was well beat. In my view, he's the horse with the most upside, and in terms of potential improvement, I think, because you know he's only just started. And he's shown a fair level, but he's actually got to improve a fair bit, even getting a £9. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, of course he's bred to be the pièce de la résistance, isn't he? Of course.
Yeah, exactly.
Enable.
Half brother to enable. Like, you know, it's an incredible pedigree. He's got, you know, he could turn out to be very good, but I mean, I'll let him be very good at that price.
Barry actually mentioned the second from that maiden, a Newmarket TC, and that's what I hold against this horse. William Aggis said, I think you want to be with this one. I mean, Kill spoke to him in the studio going back to that weekend. And he sort of drifted a bit. We haven't seen him since that horse, but as Barry said, the form does look good behind it. Where do you sit with Derab before we get your play?
I thought it was a really trappy race. Derab, obviously, there are pros and cons for him. I was a bit disappointed last time out, and I don't know why he was a non-runner earlier this month at Newmarket, actually, on quick ground. That was a bit of a concern, given his last two runs have come with
John has said, John Gosden, of course, now partnership with Thady, of course, has said, if you're looking in the members section or in your paper today, that we don't want the ground drying out. And you have to imagine with the baking conditions out there, it's going to be more firmy than good, isn't it, I think, at the moment?
Yeah, I think that's a big enough negative to me to oppose Derab, but it is a trappy enough race. I mean, you could probably make a case for most of them.
I thought he'd go off Fav, though. I have to say that. But Real World has replaced. And I heard you chatting with Kills in the office. You're quite keen on this chat, were you?
Yeah, I like Real World. I mean, the price right now is a bit ridiculous. When I sent in my selection to the producer, Rob Lee, yesterday, he was 7-2. I thought that was a fair enough price, given how well he won the Royal Hunt Cup. He's 2 from 2 in Britain. As I say, hacked up in the Royal Hunt Cup. And his only other start in Britain, he beat the now 96 rated Lost Eden by 5 lengths on debut. He surprised me, obviously, at Ascot. He surprised most people. Based on his Maidan runs, he was nowhere near that good. But there are a lot of cons against him, the price now being 1, as well as Marco Ghiani can't claim, probably not the same pace to chase in the race, different trip. But he posted the fastest final 3 furlong sectionals in the Royal Hunt Cup. He hit the line powerfully. I think he's well worth a try at this level. At the price, maybe now I wouldn't be betting him, but at 7-2, he was my selection in the race.
We've got 2 horses running today that blew up the draw theory at Ascot. We had, of course, a Chipotle. I think that's how we pronounce him. Of course, he ran on what was the perceived wrong side, and Real World was the big one, I think, wasn't it? Because
the thing in that Royal Hunt Cup, though, that obviously has 30 runners. On that side, there was 10 horses on the far side group, and this side there was 20. I know you say he blew up the draw, and he definitely did, because only 2 horses out of the first 18 home were the far side. Like, the bias was still near side. He just romped. He was so much better than them. I thought the bias was still playing pretty strong towards the stand side at that stage, and you know that was an extra positive for Real World. The fact that he managed to put that distance between the rest of the runners on his side to win.
But then the
Royal Hunt
Godolphin
Cup.
horse on his side set really good fractions.
yeah, it did look. You're right, Barry. Well, good memory. I remember that now. We did say that was like a bit of
I think it was the
training
first,
exercise.
It was
almost,
the
wasn't
first time on the entire week that the jockeys had actually explored the very far side.
You were getting your goat kills.
I was getting my goat because I actually tweeted, why don't they try the far side? And then, of course, first time it happens, the horse goes over and wins there and beats mine and Barry's.
That got us going.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, because the Duke of Cambridge, when everybody went down the middle. I mean, how ridiculous was that?
It was.
Like, and they just allowed Frankie Dettori, well, I'll come stand side if nobody else win, and come through and win on an outsider. Yeah, I mean, crazy. So it was well worth a try. I'm not convinced that there was a massive difference. Overall, but the horse still won very easily. But here's the thing, right? He was ridden by a jockey claiming £3. He was at the very end of his £3 claim. So, in other words, but at that stage of a very good claim, that £3 is just pure theft, isn't it?
Yeah, sure.
They're virtually a fully fledged story. So he's in effect running off 91. Now he's running off levels against horses rated as high as 113.
Well, given the weight for age to the 3-year-olds as well.
It's a massive, massive step up in class. It's a different type of race altogether. He's got a small field. He got towed along at a real fast pace. And you know, one of the things I remember Nick Morden riding in the weekend years and years ago. The amount of horses that step up from handicaps, big field handicaps, and then suddenly they go into these listed and group races, small fields. It's a completely different type of pace scenario. So he's got an awful lot to answer for me at that sort of price. Never the sort of price I'm going to be playing at anyway. So I've backed an outside. I actually think the Wolferton form was very, very good, but they're both big drifters. Well, the horses who ran in it, there's plenty of them. They're all big drifters, really.
Go on.
No one seems to want them. We've got Solid Stone, he was third, Blue Cup was fourth, Felix was sixth. Now I backed Felix that day, and I thought I really fancied him, and I didn't think he was going well from any point in the race, and I thought he actually did well to finish as close as he was, 4 lengths. But remember, the third and fifth have finished first and second in a listed race at Sandown since. Dawam, I can't remember where he finished, but he finished fourth he's eighth. He was eighth in Royal Ascot, but he finished fourth in the John Smith's Cup last week.
Yeah.
So we're talking solid runs from horses that have been well beaten in the race. So, I mean, the worry is the ground. The trainer says about Felix, we've come to realise that he doesn't want really fast ground. I'm not buying that.
Well, sort of good to Softy on Thursday when they were making these entries, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was.
So I think Solid Stone doesn't want it too dry as well. I think that caught him out in the
I think
it's all over in that.
Yeah, but they've still run to a fair level. They've probably, they've run to a level that the others would still have to run really, really well to beat them, and they're just too big a prices. Especially, I mean, I know we're talking about exchange plays and whatever, but I mean the 4 places on the sportsbook.
Yeah, have you nicked a bit?
Yeah, no, I couldn't resist. But that's what I've done. And I know you fancy another one.
Yeah, I do. Let's get it out of the way, shall we? So the final tip coming to you is move in time. And we're talking about projects. The more I get to know Keels, honestly, we've been working a lot together in the last year. He's no bigger project punter out there than Keels. A forgiving man. You wouldn't believe it if you ever had a drink with him. But he is a forgiving man when it comes to equines. And I'm doing the same thing with move in time. Like this chap. Draw beat him at Ascot last time. He's on the inside here. A lot of money for him that day. He was the last off the bridle behind Mahafeth. That form is going to be tested now. And if you go back to that Newmarket novice win, it's very good form. Just have a look who was behind him. Kamari. Maybe not the Kamari we saw at Royal Ascot, but that Queen's Vase form, it's stacking up. And he beat him senseless that day. I know that Roger Varian and the team really like this chap. He's solid for me. Let's get some socials up then before we go and check with Barry exactly who's moving shaped since we've given our selections. Who's coming up? Who's opening? Manny Draycott. Good to have you back, Manny. Moving time for me. Let's start with a winner. I'm hoping you are on the money there. Who's going to lead? That's the question. We'll get to that in a minute. Ponty Terrier says, fancy Felix should go well under O'Sheen. You're with Keels then. Love it. And one more to get us underway. Paul Bakewell says, bless him. Here we go. Overpriced at 40 to 1. 1 could just be his trip. Worth a speculative each way bet. Keels, I'll let you muse on that one before I go to Barry. Barry, is it all about real world then still?
Out to 3.4 real world now. So a little slide on him. Girab, we backed at 4.2, is into 4.0. So 3 to 1, 6.6 moving time. Solid Stone was a big negative earlier on. A little bit of support coming back for that at 10. 13 Felix, Blue Cap 15 and 18 Bar. But yeah, you'd have to just say Girab, the market seems to be favouring him over real world at the moment.
I tell you what, he is a really interesting horse, and he's just one of those. When I thought he was favourite at the start of the week, I sort of wanted to get him moving time. I believe will be a good horse, but It's a lot of weight, isn't it? Now, bless our viewers that come in, and bless him. And bless you for keeping up this project, Kills, because this is your horse, this, isn't it?
He's an old favourite of mine, yeah. He's been around for ages, isn't he? I've nicked a few place bits out of him for over the last few years.
Oh, apparently your mic's gone, Kills, apparently. I'll tell you what, there's a first time for everything. No one can get a word out of Kills. Let me tell you why they changed the mic, by the way, that Kills is the biggest Blessing fan you've ever seen. Really, he is. It's ridiculous scenes. And if I can't have him in this, though, I'm surprised he's still in training, to be totally honest. So while they change Kills' mic, who's going to lead in this, TC?
I think Solid Stone will lead. He led 2 runs back at Windsor. I know, obviously, that was over a mile. This is a mile 2. But he's a horse that often tracks the pace. He can be keen in behind as well. There are plenty that can be keen in this race. So it's going to be you'll know your fate, I think, with a few of these, like the Blue Cup and Fox Tower especially.
Fox Tower, with SDS, they've got to change something up with this chap, haven't they? He's so talented, this bloke. Last year at Royal Ascot, when we had that weird Royal Ascot 2020 no crowd, this was one of Andrew Balding's naps of the week. And ever since, he's just too fizzy and too fresh. I half wonder whether SDS might go, come on, we've got to try this. There's no obvious front runner, let's see.
Potentially. He's been a bit disappointing since he beat Elwazir back in 2019. Now, Elwazir is a horse I loved. I saw him at the yearling sales at Tattersalls when he was purchased for a 6-figure sum. I loved him, and he beat Elwazir at Doncaster, and I thought, this Fox Tower is something decent.
Yeah.
Then Sylvester's, he rode in this race last year in the Steventon Stakes. He rode Fox Tower. He came off after finishing 8th of 9, and I don't know who it was on the track, but I saw it in one of our work chats that said Sylvester hates Foxtel. He doesn't like riding this horse. No surprise he didn't ride him.
I wouldn't like riding him, man.
He's just so complicated, isn't he?
Yeah.
He didn't ride him on his next 2 starts, but he's got back on board all 4 times this year.
Yes.
I think he wants to win on Foxtel just to get this, this monkey off his back.
He wouldn't be he wouldn't be the sort of ride for a lad, though, would he, or anything like that?
No,
So,
he's very tricky.
Okay. All right, Barry, we're around about 2 minutes away. Did you see a leader in this, or are we looking something obvious? Are we missing something, man?
I thought potentially Moving Times could lead.
Moving Time. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
I thought he could potentially lead, but just Real World really strong now. 296 Real World, 3.5 Dirab. A big move now on Real World into 2-1, 5-2 Dirab, and it's 7-1 bar those 2.
They're having some time of it at the moment, Godolphin, Barry, aren't they? This is something that we're looking at the post at the minute. This middle distance. Hurricane Lane, of course, hard not to be impressed with him, wasn't it, in France midweek? But it's not just that. They're sort of mopping up these big races. Charlie Appleby, is he now the superpower, Barry? Is the shift changing now that Galileo, of course, sadly passed away last week? Is it all change?
I don't think it's all change. He seems to have an exceptional crop of 3-year-old colts for sure, Charlie Appleby. But I'm sure Aidan O'Brien will have something to say about that in the later part of the season. And obviously, you've still got Galileo colts coming through, but that's going to dry up pretty soon. But no, Side Bin Stewart seems to be hitting top gear as well. He the opener winner in Newbury. That was his first juvenile winner of the season. So it'll be a big day for Side Bin Stewart today.
Yeah, I don't know. It is interesting, isn't it? It seems like Charlie Appleby. I mean, we've always known he's been a bit of a genius. I don't want to go down the Rob way galaxy, but he just has got this magic dust about him, Kills, hasn't he?
He's obviously an exceptional trainer. He gets an awful lot of good tools to work with, doesn't he? And obviously you have a big staff. You need a lot of good ones as well. But you can't argue with what he's done. I did not expect the market to be like this. I mean, I think Derab's literally just taken over, but I mean, they don't want to know anything else at all.
You see this with the exchanges, though, don't you?
I had this down as a really, really open race. I mean, I was talking about Bless Him before my batteries ran out, and it was 50. It's now 100.
Was it batteries? I thought you'd broken the mic. We get him in once every now and then. He's broken everything. The lights are about to come down. I'm like, listen, it's midway through the summer.
I would. I'd be tempted. I'm almost going to Dutch lay the pair here because I just think they're just too short. Too short.
Well, they are going
6-4 on Kills if you want to do that.
Yeah, exactly,
there we go. He's tempting him in. Absolutely quite right. Absolutely. Listen, loads of way to play. I, for one, am absolutely fascinated about what you think about the Irish Oaks out there. Who's got basically Snowfall in the multiples? Are you being greedy, or is there one against her? I've got a feeling there might be a stablemate that can put it up to. I'm fascinated to see what Barry's going to do with it as well. That comes up at 3:25. As I said, we'll be going jumping as well. Keep your viewer interaction coming in. You can take us with you, of course. You'll be watching on the phone. Who knows? Let us know where you are. But right now, we're going to Newbury. It is the 150. I'll assume the calls for most of the day. We'll get loads of real-time analysis and reaction through it. And at the moment, TC, fair play, solid stone. He called him up front. Moving time, not far away. Real world, he's got rather sweaty.
Yeah,
TC.
sweaty and keen.
Yeah, he's a bit hot, isn't he? He wasn't that hot before going to post at Ascot, but he did wear a hood going to post, so I think he's a bit of an edgy type.
How do we feel about sweaty horses in sweaty weather? Is it something that puts you off, or should we just be very forgiving?
I mean, you see the state of me when the sun's out. I mean, it's just, I'm saying it's carrying a bit of condition.
That's why the air conditioning's on, Keels. Absolutely, no one wants that. Right out the back, then, bless him, as we might expect. Blue Cup, another hold-up horse. Despite Foxtel, he's still keen. He's in restraint as well. Felix in midfield with Derab. He's settled nicely. I tell you what, he's just dropped anchor a little bit, Kingscote, hasn't he, as they go into the final.
He has. I mean, they're all going within themselves. I mean, Felix is going better now than he went at any point at Royal Ascot. It might not make any difference when they turn in, but at least he's actually at the races today. I mean, I wouldn't be monstrously keen on Real World the way he's gone through the early stages. He must have given up some, and I think he is. He's drifted a fair bit. Very strong fad there.
Here comes Dirab. Okay, Barry, we're around about 3 furlongs out. Who's hot?
Yeah, Real World went out to 5.0 at one stage. It has to be a doubt about him getting home. Maybe I haven't pulled like that. 5-4 now, Dear Rav. 5.6 moving time. Solid stone out to 23 now. But yeah, odds on Dear Rav 4-5 now. But moving time's coming through.
Yeah, it looks like it's about the 3-year-olds, doesn't it? Solid Stone just comes under the pump. Again, he just doesn't let himself down on this ground. Go on, moving time then. What we got? This is what we're expecting to see at Ascot. This is the Kamari form. Here comes him and Derab then. It is the 2 3-year-olds, unless Real World can have a say. He's pulled out for a switch. This looks like it's Derab's race. Looks like Barry Orr's going to get this. Real World. He's the only danger now. Moving time, keeping on admirably.
You spoke too soon.
Foxtel. Oh, come on, here we go. Have I? Oh, my gosh, this is a whoosh. Okay, Gubbers Nation here. Oh, and Marco Ghiani, what a celebration that was. Unbelievable scenes for the first time here on Racing Post Live in the first race. Marco Ghiani stood up. It was like Marco...
He did, yeah. It's like he's won a derby.
It was Barcelona all over again, wasn't it? Yeah. That was quite impressive, though, wasn't it?
It was pretty impressive. He's picked up really well. A lot went wrong for him during the race, didn't it? Because he was very keen. He was covered in sweat. I mean, that might not make any difference. Lots of horses do sweat, but... Yeah, it was a really, really, really impressive performance, I think, to pick him up having had so much go wrong for him. I think 106, was it, Barry?
Barry, how low did he go?
Gerab 106 for 128 quid, yeah. 107, 14-1 on for 417. Real World trade at a high of 18.5 for 44 quid, yeah. So he's won convincingly at the finish, yeah. You could really mark him up on that, like Kealy said. And obviously, Marco gets on well with the horse. Lost his claim, a couple of weeks ago now, and he's just gone from strength to strength, Marco Ghiani.
He's a character as well as he's... Look, that's a good point, Barry. Let's have a chat about this. I must admit, when I was seeing him interviewed early on, Matt Chapman took a liking, didn't on Sky, because obviously he's a bubbly character. Yeah. He likes to chat. I remember him a couple of years ago when he first came along, and he was always very smiley and very happy, he seemed, all that sort of thing. Who does that remind you of? That reminds you of a certain Italian chappie as well.
Oh, yeah, exactly, yeah.
That came on the scene about 20, 30 years ago, He is obviously very talented, and that was a whoosh moment, because Dirab TC looked like he had it wrapped up.
Yeah, he definitely did. He kicked clear, and Dirab definitely wasn't stopping either. They were going slow early. They went 12.14 after 3 furlongs, 12.15, and then 12.7. They really slowed it up around the bend. Yeah. Quick and clear. No surprise that any other horses beyond the first 4 from the early stages got involved. Real World took a few strides to hit top gear, but when he did, he really did go whoosh, and he stayed the trip well. There were signs he was going to stay well, but the fact that he hit the line powerfully in the Hunt Cup over a mile, I was really impressed. I think Darab took a big step forward from the French Derby too.
Let's talk about the form kills.
Well, it's it's funny how he didn't do anything in Maiden, other than get himself handicapped.
Well, he's a half brother to Leon Cavallo, who could be running potentially at Market Rasen or something. I bet you at one point in like over in the desert, they were like, "This has got mine pipe all over."
Yeah, exactly.
I think the thing with him in Maidan is that he always broke slowly, and in Maidan, if you break slowly, it's game over. The kickback there is ridiculous, and he was running on the dirt. Now this obviously switched to turf, I think.
Yeah. Where do Steventon winners go? Was sort of just climbing up the ladder a little bit?
I don't actually know. Without actually looking to see what the other... Yeah. Oh, dear.
Is he in the Golden Mile, Barry?
We quote him 6 Mate, but I'd struggle to see him going there, would you?
Jeez, yeah. I mean, that's the handicap, of course, on the Friday.
Will he pick up a penalty? And he'd probably be well in under a penalty if he ran in it.
Yeah, actually, the
they drop
roll
back to
call
one?
of previous winners is somewhat forgettable. A global giant last year, Fox Chairman, horses that promise a lot and haven't really delivered. What about Carlo?
What about Carlo? Well, I mean, he was your...
Yeah, Scottish horses like that. So forgettable horses. Have we seen a real worldie there? Let us know what your thoughts are. Were you all over Barry's tip as well? Dirham, it was in the bag, wasn't it? Solid Stone, just a quick mention on him. Really game effort, back on softer ground for him.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he really stuck to it because he was the first one beat, basically, wasn't he, from the front? But he just kept on digging away. So there's races to be won with him for sure.
Yeah.
When he gets his conditions, it probably has got a bit quick for him.
I wonder if moving time might go back to a mile as well. We will find out. I think that was a pretty good Stevenson Stakes, don't you? Well, shall we go up to Lincolnshire then? It is the 205 coming up next. It is the summer handicap hurdle. There are some decent horses in here, Barry, or it's a wide open market as you might expect. Who's top of the pile for you?
Yeah, just Camprand for Tom O'Brien ahead of Hang In There, 5.6 and 6.0 respectively. Hooper 7, 8.2 Wicked West. Ambassador, there was a few quid for that earlier. He's out to 16.5 now from 10. Gero is 13.5 and it's 15 bar. I fancied a horse in it, one of Emma Lavelle's. It wasn't Hang In There though. It was Voice of Cam with Tom Bellamy in the plate, but there's not a shilling for it. It was 7-1 during the week. It's out to 22 on the exchange now. But I'm not going to let that put me off her. She's an ex-Harry Dunlop. She won a Cartmel Mayor's handicap hurl off 113. She absolutely slooshed in. It was a nothing race, really. She got £9 for that. She's rated 122 now, and she's a 5-year-old mare that I think is improving a bit. I thought she could run into a place. So what we're going to do, we're just going to have 25 quid win on her at 23. Again, happy to be a price taker here. And we're going to look at the additional place market, which is 4 places on the Betfair Exchange this time round. And on the Betfair Exchange, in the additional 4 places, she's around 11 to 4, 3.85. We're going to have 25 quid on her there to save our stakes. So win and place on the Betfair Exchange, Voice of Cam.
From a fancied runner to a knock it out of the parker. And we well know Barry can do that. There you go, you see the trades happening on the exchange in front of your eyes. If you're a newcomer, you learn plenty here. Do you think Barry's on the right lines here, Kills? If this is summer jumping, let's have a bit of fun with a big price that might hit the net.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's a really, really tough race. I mean, I've backed one a big price as well. The money seems to be coming for as well. Red Force 1, because when I looked about 10 minutes ago, he was 22, and now I just look now, he's 12. He won the race last year, and he won it in quite a commanding fashion. Now, the reason he's the price he is, and he's only £2 higher, the reason he's the price he is he's now with Philip Kirby and not with Paul Nicholls, whom he won for last year. But he hasn't had many chances over hurdles for Kirby. In fact, he's only run once for him over hurdles, and that was when 6 of 22 at Aintree at the Grand National meeting. Comprond was ahead of him that day, but it was good to soft ground that day, and this horse wants it as fast as possible. Simple as that. He's a firm ground winner on the flat.
Alex Ferguson, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, and I still think he's reasonably handicapped. His flat mark, he won in a canter 3 starts ago on the flat, only in a Mickey Mouse race, and he hasn't done so well behind, Z-Band in the Northumberland Plate and another good race the time before that. But they were good races. And I just think he's been teed up for another crack at this. Obviously, he took to the course really well last year, so he'd be mine. I mean, at the top of the market, I would prefer Hang In There. Now, he won very easily at Stratford last time. He's got a £7 pen for that, but he's got a £10 claim on. I do not know an awful deal about Joe Anderson. He did ride a winner for Nicky Henderson.
He's attached to Hendo's yard.
In December. He obviously still claims 10. His strike rate is low. I worry, if you watch Hang In There, he bunny hops a lot of his hurdles.
I know this horse well.
Yeah.
I know this bloke well.
But he's talented.
Yeah. I remember speaking to Laville at the start of the year, and this was not before time Hang In There winning. If you remember him running around Kempton, he did knock a couple of hurdles out of the ground. Joe Anderson for 10, he's interesting actually. He is interesting as a rider. Yeah. And seems well.
If he jumps as well, if he gets away with jumping the way he did at Stratford last time, because he did. Go through a couple, landed hind legs first a couple of times, but it didn't seem to slow his momentum. If he's in that sort of mood, and Joe Anderson, if he's fully worth his 10, and he's effectively on a lower mark now, and he really did win with loads in hand. So, he's the one I'd fear the most. I mean, obviously you've got Hooper in there with Nicky Henderson's, who's got a £7 to over one, and is on a 6-timer and hasn't finished out the first 2 for yonks. So he's a massive player. The fact that he's only third favourite tells you that this is a wide open heat.
It's a good race when you see the likes of Hooper and Camprond, isn't it, TC?
Yeah, it's a very good race. I have to say I haven't been following the summer jumps as much, but I was on Sky back in May when Foss-Lass were racing in the evening, mixed with the stateside action.
Yeah.
And I was really impressed with Wicked West, first time up for Richard Newland, who's won this race before with Grand Maestro. Newland picked this horse up, Wicked West, from Chris McSharry. Now, I don't know too much about the trainer, but he doesn't have too many winners. But Wicked West had been running really well for him, actually. He finished second behind Word Has It, who previously beat Alkmaar by 18 lengths, and Alkmaar's a decent prospect. He also fell at Newcastle in December for Chris McSharry on his third run. He was only 2 lengths behind Tommy's Oscar that day when falling at the last. Tommy's Oscar subsequently finished third in the Scottish Champion Hurdle. Wicked West bolted up at Foss-Lass in May. Didn't see any other horse, basically. Jumped brilliantly out in front. Eased down for 14 length success. Hacked up again next time, beating Percy's Word, who should have won the other day at Utoxeter. Given a bit of a stinker by Harry Skelton, I thought, went too soon. That form should have been franked, and he could have won that by 15 as well. So Wicked West, I know he's off a mark of 130. It's a big step up in class from novice company into this race. But I thought this has always been the target for him, and Newland's a target trainer. So Wicked West for me.
Yeah, you could do a lot worse than having Dr. Richard Newland on your side in this race, and Sam Twiston-Davies as well. All right, I'm going for Ambassador, who Barry mentioned. He has been on the drift a little bit, hasn't he? But Harry Skelton, I'm hoping he can steer him a bit better than he did when they ran at the course last time, which is in a small field. It's a Mickey Mouse race. He's a 4-year-old. He's getting 10 stone. He's got cheap pieces on. Yeah, go on, Barry.
Little stat on him for you, Dave.
Here we go.
Last day Utoxeter, he's beat at 1.29 in running. Time before that, 1.34 Utoxeter. Time before that at Market Rasen, 2.9, which wasn't too much bloodletting for his in-running backers. The time before that in Sedgefield, 1.54. So, yeah, I think he's going to need those cheek pieces.
Do you know what? There'll be people out there that are going, Dave, you're doing it again, man. And you're right, he has finished second twice since he last run it. Whenever I do this and Barry comes in, he goes, let me just tell you what that's hitting running. And he does tend to be right about these things. I just think that if he can hug the inside again, and the cheek pieces might make a difference, I'm sure he'll be there or thereabouts.
Well, you can stick a couple of keep bets in, can't you? If that's what you want to do.
Yeah, and again, I thought it was better to maybe take a price. Camprond obviously is the one that could be still ahead of his mark, couldn't he, for the 5-year-old? The Aintree runners we know, and he's a flat track also.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bit of a softie though, just the way he is. You know, I mean,
he talks about hang in there. Do you think the Market Rasen, without jinxing anyone out there for you, it's one of the easiest hurdling jump courses, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's not a case of, easy hurdles to jump, it's the way you jump them. You know what I mean? He just gets himself in a mess. So
I don't see too many flatteners.
Yeah, and this is going to, he got his own way there. I mean, I like him as a horse, ability-wise. He got his own way there. He probably won't. He'll go a little.
He'll be up there, won't he?
Go a little tends to go off pretty fast, doesn't she?
Wicked West can go up there as well. TC, can't it, I think? So.
Yeah, I think Wicked West will probably try and lead.
Am I right in saying you don't want to get too far behind at Market Rasen?
I think Red Force One came from the rear last year because they went fast. I mean, any racetrack, anywhere, if you go too fast, then the hold-up horses will come to the fore, won't they?
Yeah.
And there are courses, plenty of them, where it normally pays to be at the front, but then that is because of the way they're ridden, and sometimes they overdo it and it all goes out the window.
It's literally all about pace. If they go hard up front, it suits those in behind. And
they tend to get racing, don't they, after the third last at Market Rasen, which is the last on the far side. So good luck wherever you're playing. In the first of, 3 races I think we've got for you, isn't it, this afternoon? At Market Rasen. We are summer jumping. It's Summer Plate Day. Any fancies for the Summer Plate? Let us know. Any fancies? Is anything going to beat Snowfall later on? What wins the Super Sprint? What wins the King George next Saturday? Glorious Goodwood on the horizon as well. Any anti-post picks? Barry will give you the sportsbook plays on that, no doubt, and we'll give you a view on the panel here as well. It's an exciting time of year. Snowfall may be 4-5s on, but we're going to find out a lot about the pecking order with her run today, I think. That's absolutely fascinating, isn't it? Okay, Barry, a final market check, if you will.
Yeah, it's between Camprand and Hang In There, 5.5 and 5.8 respectively. Hooper 6.4, 7.6 Wicked West, Ambassador 17, 13.5 Valentino Dancer with Paddy Brennan, and a few quid for Voice of Cam. We back to the 22 into 19.
Lovely. Yeah, Voice of Calm, I backed her when she won at Warwick a couple back, Barry. I thought she might be progressive as well. And Tim Siders picked her up, hasn't he? Tom Bellamy, obviously, a stable jockey as well. OK, good luck wherever you're playing. They are indeed off and running then after what I call the easy hurdles. Let's hope everything gets over it all right. Yeah, we're all over fine. And who's going to believe? As we thought, Hang In There might be up there. Wicked West is up there as well. On the outside, is this snookered for Brian Ellison? For Brian Ellison and Cormier fame. The horse that every time I think he's going to win a race, he doesn't. And whenever I leave him unbacked, he goes and wins. So I'm jumping off that project now.
Yeah, he's been one of my projects as well.
He's massively progressive, isn't he?
Red Force 1 is a lot closer than I was expecting.
Yeah, OK. So
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But
let's have a look at some of the fancied horses then. So Camprond, nice inside pocket in about fifth. Up against the other John McManus horse. It is John Joe, of course. Peguero with young John Joe on. Where don't you want to be? Hooper's up there at the minute. Ingleby Hollow for David O'Mara, who's got a good record in this race, actually. Young Matthew Ennis taking the ride right out the back. Really strung out, aren't they? I saw someone making a mistake at the first. I think because it was too keen. It was probably go a little. Competition's there as well. I'll tell you what, I said they were easy to jump. Yes. There's been a few flatteners, haven't there?
They're easy to jump. Half of them would be on the floor, wouldn't they?
Snooker. Don't often see him leading snooker, that's for sure. OK, so we're going a nice leisurely pace, TC.
Yeah, they're not going hard early. I wouldn't want to be too far off the gallop at this stage. Wicked West just put down on that second one in the home straight there. Slightly hampered Red Force 1, who was forced to switch left. But look, they're going a steady gallop and you can't write off any horse.
A horse that we haven't mentioned, Mrs. Hyde, the remarkably progressive Mrs. Hyde.
Remarkably progressive.
Could this be to set it up a little bit for Mrs. Hyde? She's a massive price.
Massive price. She was 40 at the off, and she 40's fixed odds at the off. God knows what she was on the exchange. Yeah, strange when you see a horse with figures like that. 3-2, 1-1-2, like sort of thing.
Yeah.
And she did look really progressive at one point last year. So maybe she's just not fit.
Well, there might well be that. She has had a run on the flat, of course. All right then. So up front, hang in there. You've got to be happy with this. Yeah or not? Come on.
Yeah, I want Red Force 1 to win, but me Savers hang in there. He looks like he's getting a far easier time of it than I thought he would.
Where's Red Force 1 then?
Red Force 1 is the grey on the inside, in just moving into fourth or fifth now. So he's going okay. He's closer than I expected.
I wouldn't worry about that. Kirby
no, I'm not.
Clever
no,
man.
I think he's in the right position because I don't think they're going that hard. So I'm quite pleased about it.
All right.
And he's jumping well, and he's going okay.
Hooper's right on the outside, giving the outside to no one under Ben French Davis. Barry, all right, we're around about 4 out. What's happening on the exchange?
Yeah, Campron 3.3 now, 5-3 hang in there. Hooper 5-6. It's 8 Wicked West, Ambassador to 25. Pajero 10.5, but the JP's a strong hand here.
Yeah, Ambassador's right out the back under Harry Scales. He's going to need a lot of luck, isn't he?
Yeah,
let's have a look then. Starting to warm up and hang in there at the third last kills. Did his customary error, even at Market Rasen.
Yeah, he did. And that's just the horse he is. But it doesn't mean he hasn't got more in him. Yeah, he's only got 2 to jump now. It all depends on what how fast they've gone and what he's gone. My lad, Red Force 1, is backpedaling, unfortunately. Yeah,
the back markers, they're going to need to hurry up, TC. This is where they get going.
Yeah, they're really quickening up now. Peguero's going very nicely in behind for John Joe O'Neill Jr. He looks to... I would be surprised if he was favourite running. Compron as well.
Go on, Tom.
Oh, here we go. You can see. There you go. Yes. Shout from Barry. All right, so hang in there.
He's still got a bit on hang in there,
Yeah, he's going. And tell you what, Voice of Calm is going well as well. Ambassador, they're all going well, the closers. But they need to get a shift on. 2 out then. Hang in there. That was one of his better jumps. OK, who's being asked? Hooper, he's a winning machine. Look at Ingleby Hollow coming as well. Camprond is there. The big players all there then at the moment. Stoneific on the inside. Has he left it too late? It's between Hooper. What's this with that?
Mrs. Hyde.
Is this Mrs. Hyde? No, it can't be.
No, it's not.
It looks like Valentino Dancer. Oh, my God, Paddy Brennan. He's always in the right place at the right time. Hang in there, just on the inside. Paddy Brennan's going to get it. What a finish this is. Stoneific right up the inside. David O'Mara has taken this out on the inside, I think, just from hang in there. He's one of those annoying horses, Stoneific. Really, really talented. Doesn't always put it in. Today, Barry Orr, he got it right under Tom Scudamore.
He certainly did. Hang in there, hit a low of 3.05 on the run in. Hooper hit a low of 4.5. Wicked West, a low of 7. Your winner, 1 second, just Strana. Hit a high of 200 in running, would you believe? Just let me check how much that was for. That was per pittance, I'd say. No, a couple of quid at 140, 3 quid at 140, and then down to, for double figures, 30 quid at 75 on the winner. David O'Mara for Tom Scudamore riding him.
Yeah, that's an interesting booking, wasn't it? Very much so. I thought he had too much to do turning in TC. David O'Meara in the last 10 years had 5 runners in this race.
Yeah.
He's now had 2 winners and 2 placed horses as well.
Yeah, Viva Colonia won it in 2011 under Dennis O'Regan. Ingleby Hollow as well for David O'Meara in that race was really unlucky in the straight. He looked like he was coming with a winning run for Matthew Ennis, but couldn't find a gap. David O'Meara clearly targeted the race, and Stonific, a horse that just doesn't win, got the job done.
That's what I thought about it.
Every now and again you get those horses that don't win, and it all falls right for them. But here we were saying, they're going an okay solid pace, don't want to be too far off it, and what happened?
Yeah.
Pace collapsed.
Absolutely,
It's very hard to tell, isn't it, when you're watching a race?
And on quick ground as well, isn't it?
Yeah. But then even on quick ground, if you think they're not going fast, then they should have no chance, should they? But it's very hard to tell how fast these horses are going.
Best part of 20 grand to the winner, of course. So really competitive race, exciting finish. We went to try and nick a couple out the back, didn't we, basically? And 42-1 shot goes and wins. Let us know if you had Stonific. Did you look at the trends and go, hang on a minute, David O'Meara, let's back his pair. They both ran well. We are off and running at Market Rasen, but we must return to Newbury. Keep your viewer interaction coming in on this afternoon. Myself, Dave Orton, joined by the 2 top boys at the post, Paul Kealy and Tom Collins, along with Barry Orr as well. Barry, we've got to go back to Newbury. We're starting to hot up a little bit there. It's all about stamina now, man. Let's get the market up if we can for the next race at Newbury, and Barry can get in the 3rd trade of the day. I've been told to wait for that a little bit. What was the Betfair SP, Barry, just in the end, quickly on Stonific, please?
Just let me check. Betfair SP of 40, 4.40.
There you go. Okay.
40. Just got it in the photo, so that's just come up. 40, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Nice price winner there. Here in the 225 in Newbury, do you want to chat about that?
Let's go for it.
Yeah, Rodrigo Diaz is probably one of the best backed horses of the day, really. It was 6-1 when we first went up with the race. He's into 130 now in the exchange. He's a Zooped Z-Band at the head of the market. 4.3, 4.5 Z-Band. Scaramanga, 10.5. 10 just Hubert, with Hull, the previous winner of the race, is 14. It's 16 bar. The horse I fancied in as a non-runner called my bluff, and when I reassessed the race, I was giving Scaramanga a bit of a chance. Obviously, we haven't seen him since he won 2 hurdle races towards the back end over 80 days ago now, but he's a 151 rated hurdler, or 154 rated hurdler now, and he's been kept on the go, apparently. I was talking to someone in Ditch Heat this morning, and he's been kept on the go. They were aiming him for Royal Ascot, but when the ground came up soft, they had to scratch him, unfortunately. They were giving him a big chance there. Megan can't ride him because she's suspended for the next 2 days, but they've got Hayley Turner instead, and apparently training really well. Very happy with the horse. If it runs well here, I'll go on to Goodwood for the staying handicap there. So Scaramanga 10.5, was into 8 at one stage this morning. I'm happy to be a price taker here at 10.5 for 25 quid. And we look to back it and again take advantage of the additional place markets on the Betfair Exchange. So in the 4-place market as well, we're going to have 25 quid on it there. And again, happy to be a price taker for the 25 quid. In the 4-place market, it's currently trading at around 6 to 4, a little bit over 6 to 4. So happy to take that there.
And you are in good company because Tom Segal, Price-Wise Supremo, also agrees. Surely capable of winning of his flat mark of 86, says Tom. And a bit of an inside word there from Barry on what the connections are expecting. So it could be Glorious Goodwood if he takes this out. So there you are, Scaramanga, the Bond horse for Barry Orr and Tom Segal. Good company you're in if you're going with them. Now, Paul Kealy, I spoke to you yesterday and you were rather keen on this race.
Yeah, massively keen, and nobody else seems to be. Because, I've been backing with Hold all week. It just looks to me like he's probably been laid out for it. He won it 2 years ago off a mark of 107. He's £2 lower now. He's only running 1 handicap since then, and that was the E-Ball a month after he won this. Too much for him of 113 then, but he's down to 105. He ran a length second to Trushan last year. Half length second, giving weight to Ranch Hand, and okay, his front runs this year haven't been too good, but track trip too sharp for him first time at Chester. And then he went well for a long way at Sandown, got outspeeded and got eased.
It was a funny race, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a funny race. He might be a bit quirky now, but Oisin Murphy was booked as soon as the 5-day entry were made. Now, he last rode him when he won last year in a listed race at Newmarket. Yeah. And 5 of his last 10 rides for Roger Charlton have won. He's had a second and a third as well. And it just looked to me like, this is what he's been getting ready for. Like I said, he's won this race before. His owner's won 2 of the 3 runnings of it because he won the first running too. And I just think he's got a big chance. But he just
Stratum won it.
He's not at all. Stratum won it. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So he's won it with some,
Everything looks right,
and
Keels,
he's
apart from the
won
price.
a Northumberland Plate. He's won a Says. He's won this race, and he is, he's a massive double-figure price.
Sometimes things confound you, TC, don't they? Last week, both Paul and Tom put up Johnny Drama in the John Smith's Cup. Goes off, what was it, over 30 on Betfair, wasn't it? Mental.
Yeah, it's a huge drift.
It's about 38 at the off, wasn't it? And it was
I
ridiculous.
mean, I thought you were mental for putting it up. Then Tom does, and I'm like, hang on a minute.
Obviously, so did everybody else.
I was at a wedding, and someone came up to me and went, Kealy's done it again. And I went, no, I didn't forgot about it. That sort of thing. So even at the wedding where I was,
It was my first big prize winner for a while, to be fair.
you've got to enjoy
that
them
again.
And I know you did enjoy it.
I thoroughly enjoyed
So
it.
it's withhold for you, everything right by the price. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the price is right, and it's too good a price to pass up. So you've got to have a little bit more. Interesting, we got Margaret Dumont at 29, £5 better off for 2.5 lengths with Z-Band, and he's 4.3.
Yeah, I like Z-Band. I do like him.
There's issues with Margaret Dumont on turf, isn't there?
Potentially,
Which
yeah,
is
that's the
big one,
Hugo
but
Palmer. He won that as he liked, didn't he? Z-Band, the
He
consolation
did.
race.
I mean, in my eyes, it was a 0 to 90 basically, wasn't it? Because it was a consolation race. He was near the top of the weights off 88. Now again, he's running against miles better horses.
You have to think he'd have
I
gone.
mean, I
very
made that
close
same
to the
case with Real World as well, didn't I? So I mean, it might not hold an awful lot of water.
Yeah.
They'll
be hoping he lasts out a little bit better than Moving Time in the same colours who faded into fourth. But this chap, TC, Keith Melrose is a big fan of this horse. I spoke to him at the start of the season. I said that I was interviewing Roger Varian. So he goes, one horse to ask him about. Please ask him about it. Z-Band. Didn't actually make the cut, that. So Keith so Keith was on last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. But I think, look, he's gone up massively in the weights, but they stuck the visor on him last time. The one thing I was worried about was the quicker ground, but I looked into his pedigree. Zeba the Dam's thrown up loads and loads of fast ground winners. So might just improve for it. He's never run on.
it's never a negative. It's just an unknown, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit of an unknown. But breeding wise,
but you might have something. Might have something to prove. But, again, this is another 2-horse race. There's a horse in there another one that has a bit of. I've got a bit of previous with Just Hubert.
Oh yeah.
What
happened to him last time?
No, he just blew out completely. But I really, really fancied him that day, and he never
sticking on the pieces and Tom Marquand.
Well, yeah, exactly. I'll have a go at him because he is well handicapped. I might have to have a little savour on him while I'm here.
The keyboard is clicking hot with Keels at the moment. TC, where are we going in this 225?
Yeah, I'm with Just Hubert. I got a bit of 16s earlier. I quite fancy him in here. I know he's been disappointing all 3 runs this year, but I think there's been excuses. First time up heavy ground. He doesn't like heavy ground, likes it quicker.
Yeah.
Next time at Ascot, he just had a wide trip behind Raccoon, pitched out into the car park, basically. He was never going to feature. Last time out, I actually watched a bit of the opening show this morning, and William Muir was interviewed, and he said he isn't a sprinter, and it turned into a sprint in the straight because they just went so slow. And also, he doesn't like the track at Newcastle with the long straight. I think they're perfectly reasonable excuses. And I think he's well handicapped. First time cheap pieces, Tom Marquand, as he said. Big pluses. Obviously, the market surrounds Rodrigo Diaz and Z-Band because they're the improving 4-year-olds, but they're too short at 3-1 for me.
Okay, let's get some viewer interaction up on the screen. Someone agreeing with TC out there? Yeah, Paul Bakewell comes back on and says, Rodrigo Diaz, first time this season at the right distance. Interesting, Paul. I backed him last time at Kempton. I think it was his race to win. He just got going that little bit too late, didn't he? Distance interesting. Will do just enough so not to get hammered by the handicapper. It is interesting that Rodrigo Diaz is out quickly. It's not really a Simcock move, this TC, is it, to get them out quickly? He's a real patient trainer.
He is, yeah. Rodrigo Diaz, he's an interesting runner, obviously, by Golden Horn. To me, he seemed better last year. I know he's been running in better races this year and his RPR's been improving, but I was more intrigued about his performances last year. Last time out, I thought it was pretty disappointing at Kempton. He had the race there to win and didn't go through with it. I'm not too sure about the trip either. It's a big jump up, isn't it?
I don't know if he didn't go through with it. I can understand why they're going up in trip with him. He's just one of those horses that's always going to be near the top of the market, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, this is it. I mean, the problem is, he's been a short price for a lot of his races, isn't it? I mean, is he running?
He strikes me as the sort of horse you loathe.
Well, yeah, he's a sort of, runs in soft races, wins them, and always ridden by Jamie Spencer, so it looks like he's miles better than he is, and people get sucked into him. That's the way I look at the race.
What's under the bonnet, you mean? Yeah,
exactly.
Wasn't a lot there
actually under the bonnet, and we should wait and see. It might be run exactly to suit him, and he might be able to come in there cruising and Jamie will look the absolute dogs and not, not move a muscle.
Yeah, should be some pace on here, shouldn't there? Margaret Dumont, of course, Withhold, never too far away.
Exactly.
Who else? We've got Mildenberger. He's an often pace setter, isn't he?
Yeah,
Mancini, a good shout, Barry.
He's
absolutely.
no mug at all, Mildenberger, for this. I always get sucked into bigger prices about good horses.
I think he's overpriced as well.
He's way overpriced, isn't he? I mean, what was he, fifth in the Northumberland Plate?
Yeah. Yeah, he just seems to run all the time.
Slightly higher mark. Yeah, he does. Yeah, but he's a course winner. He's a course
horses.
winner as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's got loads of ability.
A bit of housekeeping for Newbury, if you don't mind. Second race, first race here, we covered here on RP Live. Michael Gianni, as said to James Byrne, our roving reporter on the track, got boxed in, had nowhere to go, but that was a good thing. This is a horse that likes to think about it. We feel he's improving and he can go higher again. David Probert, after 2 races, definitely quickening up the ground as well. Thanks to Bernie for that at Newbury. Okay, all right. I can hear you moaning there, Barry. Is everything all right, man?
Have you just done it in at the Curragh?
Have you been done elsewhere? Have you been?
I was just watching a race in the Curragh. A horse went wrong. That's all.
Oh,
Sorry.
right.
Oh, that's
All right, nothing to laugh
brought it
about.
down. I got beaten a short head in the Curragh in the first race there. I backed to Ryan Moore's that got done. I think it was nose TC. You kindly reminded me as I was coming in.
Yeah, they showed the print just on the big screen here.
Just as I was starting to forget about it.
You were unlucky, to be fair. Last stride as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It's setting up for the day, isn't it? There we go. How are you getting on out there after the first couple of races? Do you love these kind of days where we go dual purpose? It's a bit of everything at the moment, isn't it? Of course, what a time we've got coming up. King George next week.
Yeah.
Always a great card.
I've had a howler with the King George, by the way. We got that email.
Here we go. This is making me feel better.
We got the email yesterday, didn't we? Went to all staff about Racing Post, colleagues or whatnot can attend meetings with their badge.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, oh, here we go. But I've just previously bought my blooming King George.
Oh, fantastic. How much that cost you?
Yeah, it cost me 85 quid.
And you can walk in free now.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I've had a bit of a howler.
Oh, wow. On to whatever these sales sites are, I imagine your ticket can go. You can buy TC's ticket for King George. There you go. There's some advertising I never thought I'd ever do. That's made me feel better for that nose defeat. We're just watching Z-Band win as he liked the replay of him at Newcastle last time. I like him. Will he go off favourite, Barry, or Z-Band?
At the moment, Dave, no. Rodrigo Diaz very strong at 4.0. 4.7 Z-Band. Scaramanga 9.8 now. Small few quid for that. Just Uber 10.5. Withhold 17.5. Mancini, a few quid for that. Popular pick, but he's into 20 now, Mancini.
He's first time blinkers using him with Richard Kingscote. He's I guess he must be getting one handicapped again, mustn't he? He's a horse I used to really like when he was with Johnny Portman. He's a real heart on sleeve type, and he can, he just keeps going. There are a few in here.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably got a bit cute as he's got older, isn't he?
Maybe, a bit like Sleeping Lion, for example, in Indianapolis.
Exactly. They've been around the block a little bit, and they probably save a bit for themselves.
What about being around the block? Lucky Deal, how's he still in training? I mean, they're right outside of Holly Doyle on.
So slow as well. He just doesn't run a yard for any jockey. It's a bit ridiculous.
Has Holly ridden him before? Lucky Deal, this is their big outsider. This could be the Holly effect. No, she hasn't. Okay, it would be an interesting book in that, actually, wouldn't it, for Mark Johnson? Goodwood time coming up.
Mind you, he might not have been able to persuade some of the northern ones to come down.
Holly will take the ride, no problems whatsoever. Okay, all right. So where are we? We're about 2 minutes away from the 2 mile race of the day. What is this? This is a handicap, of course, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Decent handicap. Got to say that. Let us know your King George picks at the minute. Is it Love? Or are you going for one of the boys against her? Who will it be? We were talking yesterday, Kills, weren't we? We were saying what we're going to learn about Snowfall today in the 325, the Irish Oaks, is that I think she'll do the Enable route, Love route. She'll go Yorkshire Oaks and then on to the Arc. And I think Love might have ulterior motives. I think they will split them up.
Well, they might do. I mean, they wouldn't split Colts apart if they had to go for it. So I mean, you have got that in your. In the locker, that they might be perfectly happy to run them against each other. They have run loads of really good horses against each other, trying to win. And obviously they've run multiple horses in the Arc several times, haven't they? So maybe they'll both end up in the Arc. I mean, Love,
the ground with her.
Love was pretty good. Love was pretty good. At Ascot.
Yeah,
I mean, she controlled it. To be fair, but I still think she was pretty good. It was a really good start to the season.
Wonderfully named.
We have a second favourite in the Derby whose form is starting to work out spectacularly in Adayar. I mean, obviously he's got to come out and prove it. I mean, but Hurricane Lane has come out and won the. Oh, they're off.
We are off indeed. All right, we were digressing there, but they are off. Okay, is this off? They are indeed. It said the goal was great, but it is actually Newbury. All right, good luck wherever you're going. We will wonder who was going to make the running. Withhold certainly wants a bit of it. Surprise, surprise. Mancini, he wants a bit of it. As you can see there, Scaramanga, Barry's pick. A default pick, I think it was R2's non-runner there, but it's in second. They're going an honest pace at the moment, aren't they, guys? Margaret Dumont usually up there. She can't get a bit of it at the moment. Mildenberger back in fifth. That looks like the Godolphin horse in sixth, which we didn't give a mention to, Global Heat. Looks like he's lost his way slightly. One thing we were expecting is Rodrigo Diaz to be out the back. Jamie Spencer, as expected, along with Sleeping Lion. And you said he was slow. He is slow, isn't he? Lucky Deal can't go a yard.
Yeah, he was scrubbed along coming out of the stalls. He doesn't really want to raise a gallop.
Well, actually, you're talking about that. I mean, I was talking about horses getting a little bit cued. Withhold didn't actually look like he wanted a part of it to start with. But, you know, he's settled now. But I just thought Ashley Murphy was like, well, come on then, get a move on. You know what I mean?
He definitely wanted a piece of it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Z-Ban, nice midfield sit for him on the inside alongside TC's pick, Just Hubert as well. I think we've covered them all. One thing to my eye, they're well strung out, Kills.
Yeah, I mean, that could hint at a very strong pace. I mean, we've got no fractions on the board, unfortunately. So we can't tell. But everything's going well within themselves at the moment. I mean, obviously, you know, these are decent horses up front, but whether they're going too fast or not is another matter altogether. Is that Z-Ban taking a little bit of a hold?
Yeah,
yes, he is. He's slightly up in that visor, isn't he? Right, and Mildenberger has gone back a little bit now. And Richard Kingscote, one of the best front-running jockeys out there, TC, I'm going to have a little breather on Mancini.
Yeah, exactly. They went hard early. He wanted to get that position from gate 12. And then he steadied it up around the bend. A couple in behind took a pull. I mean, Lucky Deal's even on the bridle now. That shows that they're not going so hard.
He's overtaken one.
I can't believe it. It's Sleeping Lion will go straight by him in a minute. Scaramanga just travelling nicely in behind as well. Withhold, you've got to be happy there in the box seat.
Yeah, come on, T.
Well, he's definitely in the right position if he's going okay. But I'm just having a look. Ashley Murphy's just trying to kid him into it, isn't he?
Very possibly.
And he, maybe he has lost a little bit of enthusiasm. I don't know. We'll wait and see what happens when they straight over home. It's a long way to go yet. But he's, if he consents to go past, who's that? Margaret Dumont.
Yeah. She's putting a bit of pressure now on Mancini. All right then, Barry. They're approaching the home turn. Who does the exchange really like?
Yeah, Rodrigo Diaz still your favourite of 3.3. Z-Ban 5.386. Just Hubert now and 7.8 Scaramanga.
Yeah, Z-Band is absolutely tanking, and Jamie Spencer is staying on his coattails. But they're going to have to get a shake on, because Mancini, he doesn't go down lightly. Is he going to get Gub TC, or are the closers coming? Here comes Spencer on the bridle.
Yeah, it looks like Z-Band's now asked for effort. I'm not sure he's really kicked on as expected for Jim Crowley. Down the outside, Indianapolis picking up well with Sleeping Lion.
Go on,
Spencer
Haley.
finding a bit of trouble. Looks like Scaramanga.
Z-Band's up and down on the spot. He's hated this ground, I think. Spencer's trying to thread an. I'll tell you what, Barry, they've set sail for home. Hi, Barry, or might have this in the pocket.
He's got in loads of trouble.
You did this in the other race.
I did. I don't mean to gub you. I tell you what, and here comes Diaz as well, as he left it too late. Go on, Haley, the Scaramanga, the Bond horse. Here's the man with the golden gun going to come out on top. Rodrigo Diaz is closing all the way with holding third. Come on, let's hold this one on, please. Aye, that'll do ya. You can't keep a good man down. Third time lucky. The charity trade goes in. It was a default pick, Barry, but you absolutely nailed it, man.
Yeah, default pick. Yeah, it was a default pick. Initially, I was fancying calling my bluff. Yeah, but no, she's done it well, hasn't she? Like I said, talking to them this morning, and they had kept him in training with a view to run them Royal Ascot, but they'll step him up now to the race in Goodwood that Just Hubert won last year, the 2.5 mile stairs handicap there. And it will be a real player as well there, I suppose.
Yeah, very much so. It was a good ride, Barry, as well, wasn't it? Never too far away. Again, Rodrigo Diaz, is he going to be one of these on the exchange that always goes a bit short and doesn't prevail?
Oh, yeah. He really is a bit of a monkey, isn't he? Even looking at him there. What did he trade at in running? Rodrigo. Sorry about this, Dave. I'm just a little bit excited after getting that one over the line.
Rightly so as well.
Once you called it a winner,
You didn't see
that in the previous race as well.
You didn't see Withhold getting stuck.
He likes to give me a hard time, doesn't he? It's like my fault that Dirham got beaten. You know,
1.46 Rodrigo Diaz for over 100 quid. Yeah, Withhold travelled really well up the inside, but never trade any lower than 9.0. Would you believe?
He couldn't get out, could he? Like, you know, I don't think. Listen, I don't think he'd have won. I think it'd have been much closer. He wasn't quick enough. But I mean, he had nowhere to go, and you can't start forcing yourself out, can you? You know,
Ziban's run an absolute stink.
He blew out. He was too keen
Dreadful.
early. Travelled nicely and then blew out, didn't he?
Yeah, he's.
I got beat by Lucky Deal.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Yeah, okay, what else has run on there? Sleeping Lion came out from Indianapolis as well. Paul Bakewell was all over Rodrigo Diaz, one of our viewers out there as well.
I thought he ran all right, Rodrigo Diaz, you know.
We've been a bit harsh.
Yeah, Spencer was in a bit of trouble at the top of the straight. He had to weave inside. He stayed really well as well. I had some concerns about his stamina, but he hit the line quite powerfully. Obviously, Scaramanga had stamina already proven.
He's got first run, hasn't he? That's the thing. And that's always what you know, when you're out the back, you risk that happening.
Exactly.
Right, before we go to the summer plate, let's talk about Withhold. Okay, Scaramanga, we know that he's going to Goodwood now. That looks like a great project there. He's an uncomplicated horse. Paul Nichols will be excited. Withhold. Handicapper's not going to drop him for this. Is it all about the Says, do you think, later on this year, at 2 mile 2, back for the race where he was so impressive?
It might be. I mean, it might be the case. I mean, look at that, 16. I can't believe I backed him at 8 to 1 on Monday. I thought it was a cracking price. It's amazing, isn't it, how horses drift? Stuck with it.
Tried his art out. Yeah, he's stuck with it.
Yeah. I mean, it depends. He might need to come down a few more pounds. He's obviously, he's still a very talented horse, and but he looks like he's thinking a little bit about it now.
He'll probably run in the Rose Bowl.
It might be the way he carries himself. Like, I would be tempted. Can they go Goodwood for that? Can they go for that race at Goodwood? It's an open handicap, isn't it?
Yeah, it's possible.
He'd sling loads of them out the handicap, wouldn't he? And he stays forever.
Yeah,
and it might just be one of those
round
races
2
where
at Goodwood.
I suppose he won't go there, but I mean, it might be one of those where he could actually get the lead without much bother.
He might go to that listed Rose Bowl stakes at Newmarket. He won it in 2019, second last year by Ranch Hand.
That's the race I was thinking.
Probably a better call, but I'd be tempted to go for the Newmarket.
I just wonder whether they're looking at the long range picks. Tony Bloom, isn't it? So will it be another Says? All right, we are firing on all cylinders here on Racing Post Live. Welcome along if you're joining the party. Myself, Dave Orton, Paul Kealy back in the panel. Happy days, TC doing the trading and knocking in some winners along with Barry Orr. As you can see there, the market always happens in front of your eyes. Next, it is the summer plate. Jumps fans in Clover today because it's a pretty classy race, Barry Orr. I mean, talk is cheap. The top weight, he's running some top handicaps over the time.
Yeah, he certainly has. It's a strange sort of betting race. Like, they're backing everything to the exclusion of the favourite, Captain Tomcat, who's 4.6 now. He's really short. 10, Solomon Gray. Darling Malte is 11.5 far away. Frankie de Burlay, 13.5. Top of the Cotswolds, 14.5. 15, that's a given. Pink-Eyed Pedro was given a bit of a chance to his 19. It's not a race that I really applied myself to, I've been perfectly honest, but I have been following the progress of Captain Tomcat since April when he... in Cheltenham behind Poshima, and he's went on to win in Aintree and Worcester twice off 125, 137 and 144. He's on the upgrade. Like I said, it's not a race I really could get excited about. I wouldn't have a bet with my own money in it, to tell you the truth, but this is Betfair's money, so we're going to have 25 quid on Captain Tomcat at 4.6.
He had a little wry laugh to himself there.
At least you're honest. I'd probably get sacked for saying all of that.
Let's put another 0 on, shall we? Yeah. Right. Okay, so Barry, so you just think that this is the most likely winner, right?
I thought it was the most likely winner. It's not a price I generally get involved in, but just for the sake of the charity, and we're winning a few quid. We won 275 quid for the charity in the last race. We'll have 25 quid on the favourite. I like it that he'll go off in front. He'll try to make all, and it's worked well for him so far this season, and handicapper just mightn't have caught up with him yet.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
I told you Barry shoots the lights out, by the way. I never had that saver, did I, Scaramanga?
You did.
I had about 3 savers on other horses.
You should know by now, Kills, absolutely. Yeah, Dr. Richard Newland's won this in the past with a horse called Bob Owen. Only one outright favourite in the last 10 years. That was a horse called It's a Gimme.
That's no great surprise, is it? I mean, it's always a really competitive race.
5 to 1 joints, 6 to 1 joints, yeah.
This is short enough for me. I mean, if some of you saw 2 months ago, he hadn't even run in a race for, and he was rated 125. For two months ago, you said he's going to be running in the summer plate of 147, and he'll be clear fab. You'd think you're mad. He has jumped really, really well. First time in a handicap, a run at size of field 7, 4, 4.
Yeah.
Now he's got to because he likes going from the front. Now he's got to dominate.
Proper acid test for him,
16.
isn't it?
It's a big test, but it is summer jumping, and they are essentially summer jumpers. So he's very much at the head of those at the moment because that's what he likes. He likes fast ground. I still can't get over the price. A little bit like with Hold really, of top of the Cotswolds. I mean, I think he's the best handicap horse in the race on one line of form. On one line of form, and that line of form just happens to be here because last August he was second and he split Potterman and El Presente. Now Potterman and El Presente went on to finish first and second in the Badger Rails, and then first promoted and fourth in the Bet365 Gold Cup with Sandown, and they are, I think they're something like £15 and £19 higher now. They're £15 and £11 higher now than they were. On top of the Cotswold is £4 lower, and he hasn't actually run that badly in a couple of races. He was second over 2 furlong to Fidelio Vallis, who was completing a treble, has gone on to complete a 4-timer. Then he was 5th of 18 at Utoxa over 2.5, getting going late, and then he went up to 3 mile 2 in the Summer Cup last time. He finished 6 of 16, some drop in form, but he blatantly didn't stay. And it looked like he got outstayed here when he was beaten by Potterman, and that was 3 mile. This is 2 mile 5.5. It'll be just over 2 mile 6 furlong given the bend realignments. So I think the track, trip, ground definitely is all for him, and I just thought he was a big price each way.
There's a horse in here that I thought you were sure to have a bit
Grey?
of money on. No, Pink-Eyed Pedro.
Oh, Pink-Eye, yeah.
Oh, Pink-Eyed. Remember when you put him up at Aintree? We were doing the show in here. You were miles away in the office, and all we could hear was you knocking down the
I had
doors.
a massive another one of those really, really painful days for me because obviously the winner of that race, whose name I've forgotten, was a horse that I'd had down. It was me nap for that particular race for 2 years. Live, Love, Laugh, that's it.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yes.
I was thinking we might get
There's a
16 to
name.
1 this on the day, and when we looked, he was like 7.
He's got the classes, though, what I'm saying here, to play a part, hasn't he?
He has got the class. He likes, I think.
Paddy on him.
I think he wants quick ground. Paddy will sit and wait and wait.
Paddy
and wait.
Brennan.
Yeah, he's a definite player, yeah.
Okay, all right. Listen, we know you're out there watching, loads of numbers watching the show out there. Get your comments in this afternoon. Ask Keels anything, ask TC anything, Barry or myself, Dave Orton. We will give you a shout out. We've had a few winners for you. Thankfully, Barry Orr gave a little bit of class to the show with the tipping. And you're taking a chance here, Barry, just thinking the Fab will outclass them, to remind everyone.
Yeah, he's 4.7 now at the moment. Captain Tomcat, Solomon Gray 10. He's the favourite's the only horse in single figures in the betting. 10.
Wow.
Solomon Gray, Darling Mate 10.5. Bit of concern about him stepping out into top handicap company now. Far away 11.5, and it's 14 bar them. But it's all about the favourite at the head of the market there.
Yeah, I think you might be right about Darling Mate. I covered his race in the analysis department for the Racing Post at Newbury Market last time. His horse that goes on any ground, but I wonder if this field is against him. TC, you like the Dr. Richard Newland horse in the previous race. Who are you going for here?
Yeah, Captain Tomcat. Again, I'm very much in the same boat as Barry here, though.
Initials, my man.
It is indeed. I wouldn't be using my own money to bet on this race, basically.
You're like Barry then.
Yeah, I'll use Betfair's money. No, I'm joking.
The RP don't have a pull, funnily enough. Not for you anyway, TC.
No. I would be just watching this race with a view to the flat. But I think Captain Tomcat is the most likely winner. Really impressed with his jumping, I have to say, since he's
as
gone
Keels said, he has looked good for a novice, hasn't he? I've been impressed with Fire Away as well. Who remembers when we covered Musselburgh all those many months ago and he landed that whopping gamble on his debut for Laura Morgan out there, who's becoming a trainer to watch out for, Laura Morgan. He ticks all the boxes for me. He's been nibbled in around about 9 to 1. I can see him going well, Barry, or Fire Away.
Yeah, that was the multiple day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Remember, they had 4 horses. The last one let them down, but that was the first leg. That got the multi on the move that day when it won 19 lengths. Absolutely slooshed in at even money. He'd have a chance going back to that sort of form. He's currently 13 on the exchange for Adam Wedge in the plate this time round. 13.5 now, has been matched at a high of 14.5. So he's steady away at that.
Yeah, he's very progressive also, I think, and there's a nice day in him. I'm hoping it's today. And if you looked at the comments in the paper, Laura Morgan, his trainer, says, absolutely love this track. Keith Melrose is a fan of this track.
Yeah, he's a big fan as well. Yeah, he thinks it's been underrated. I think the trainer has obviously done really, really, really well over the past 18 months or so, hasn't she? So.
Yeah. Accelerator Express I thought was quite interesting as well. For Tom Scudamore, Nilma Holland. I always think this is a Twister's horse because of the colours, but this chap won a race at Uttoxeter. It was an away day when we were in here, and I'd backed him. Do you remember when he won that day? I think he hit 1,000 or something like that on Betfair, and I looked at, whatever like that. And all of a sudden I'm looking back and going, how's he winning this? Everything either fell or stopped.
Yeah.
And he got up, didn't he? I'm like, yes, absolutely filth. But on his day, he's capable enough, and Tom Scudamore going for a big double as well. All right, how far are we away? In fact, we are at post time, aren't we? Solomon Gray, another horse, Keels, that you've had some business with.
Yeah, I've had some business with him. I've backed him. I've backed him for decent racing. I definitely think he wants decent ground. I don't know whether the extra yardage is in his favour, to be honest, because I've always thought he's a little bit of a short runner.
Yeah.
But it just might be the way he runs. He used to go off in front. And,
He did.
And they're trying to get him to settle now. But
He won in some big handicaps over hurdles, didn't he, basically?
Yeah.
Moved him to fences, and 9-year-old now, but he is a course winner, and he often attracts a bit of money for
right,
top teams.
coming out onto the track rather quickly now, aren't they? Right by
They
the
are.
stands.
Right then, it's summer plate time. Good luck wherever you're playing. Couple of ticks for the TC favourite. He's really short in the betting, according to Barry Orr. I wonder if this is one.
Full start.
Full start. Okay, great
Well,
start.
actually, no start. You should make them turn again. They haven't.
That was messy,
They
wasn't it?
didn't actually break the tapes.
Oh, how we've missed the jumps.
It's marvellous, isn't it?
How we've missed those. Thank God Rodway's not here. I thought
They-
at one point he was
They
going to...
definitely get to walk in again, though, don't they? Because they didn't break the tape, so he's just sent them back. So
Yeah, G-Rod throughout the winter. I thought he was going to burst at one point with the start. It was ridiculous. It wasn't just on this.
well, it is right, but it's not just the starter's fault. If jockeys are lining up miles behind, is it? Like, you know what I mean? When,
We
you
did a
get small
feature
field
show
races.
and we had Aidan Coleman on it, and we were talking about the starts. And
There you go,
G-Rod on this big ramp. They are off and running, I can tell you. And he said to Aidan Coleman, Aidan, surely you agree with me? And Aidan went, well, what else do you expect us to do? And we moved on very quickly. Once again, one of G-Rod's theories blown out. But Talk Is Sheep has blown off in front then. A horse that's running Nationals, Bet365 Gold Cups, I don't know, Old Racing Post chases, and he's torn off for Team Alan King. Okay, the favourite is in second. That's the thing I can tell you. I wonder if Sam Twiston-Davies fancied his chances of nicking the lead. Not a chance whatsoever. Something right out the back that I'm struggling to see at the moment. That's a given. Can't go to pace at the moment. So right at the back. TC, help me out with that one.
It's not that
Royal
again.
Village, is it, potentially? One of them's at the back. I can't. Yeah, I think it is Royal Village. It is Royal Village. A fortunate winner here last time, but absolutely loves the gaff. Okay, Mercy and Prince up there. Also, we didn't mention for Amy Murphy, who won the race last year with Really Super. He's having a bit of it.
This is
They are going.
This is
mental.
bat out of hell stuff, surely.
Now, do you remember this when we did the Racing Post?
I was in, yeah.
And they went really quick, sprinter pace.
Yeah.
Anything held up, couldn't go there. Is this what we're going to see now?
Well, in that race, nothing actually came from mind at all, and it was a horse on the front end.
Everything was out of the
Even though
rhythm,
they went so
wasn't it?
hard. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I mean, it's very much about rhythm jump racing, isn't it? And if you get a horse that's out the back and can jump and get into a rhythm, then I'd say that's where you want to be at the moment. You certainly, they're going hard enough.
Yeah, and unlike the hurdles course, they can be a bit fiddly, these fences, because they
How
come
do
up
you say
that
we're going
close.
hard enough? I mean, this is a 3 mile, 5 furlong chase winner in front, isn't it?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Darling
it's
Marte
always-
is keeping closest tabs on him. He's a bit keen, isn't he, at the moment? Let's look for some other of the big players. Where's My Far Away? He's outside, out the back at the minute. Pink-Eyed Pedro out the back as well. Dance Idol,
you'd expect
Tristan
Pink-Eye
Durrell
out
getting
the
the
back.
ride for the Skeltons. He's out the back as well. Lord Bryan for the Bowen team, the 10-year-old, course and distance winner he is. He's in around about 5th or 6th place. Top of the Cotswolds.
He's
Keels.
all right, mid-div. Been all right. Jumped a couple slowly, but I mean, he's travelling within himself.
I'd be happy with that position, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's roughly where I'd want him to be, I think.
Yeah, Temple Park out the back.
I mean, you can see that, jockey on Captain Tomcats decided to sit back a little bit.
He has Sam Twisters, yeah. Accelerator Express under Tom Scudamore. He's gone back. Solomon Gray out the back as well. That's pretty much all of them covered. That's a given, is there as well. Okay, TC, who catches your eye before we go to Barry?
not the favourite, Captain Tomcat. He bungled one down the back straight, as Darling
Yeah,
Monte,
he's-
and
yeah,
Captain
yeah,
Tomcat
yeah.
did again.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is the problem with big field handicapped and
Yeah.
dominating four runner novices.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean he's back on the bridle again. But you do too many of them, it's just going to take your wind away in the end.
Barry, what price is he now then, the top cap?
Out to 7 now, Dave, and once he didn't get the lead, he was out to 6.8 almost immediately. He looked like he was sulking a bit, not getting the lead. Talk Is Cheap at a Betfair SP of 55, it's trading at 10 at the moment. Darling Malte 5.1, 8.2 Solomon Gray They're your principals at the moment.
Thank you, Barry Orton. Then as we go on to the final circuit, it may be 2 mile 6 pretty much in the summer plate of Market Rasen, but it comes thick and fast. Kills, if you had to pick one now for the viewers.
I mean, little pink-eyed Pedro's creeping into it, going okay.
Oh, pink-eyed.
Right next to my top of the Cotswolds, and unfortunately jumped better than my top of the Cotswolds.
Yeah, somebody catching.
But yeah,
him.
that's it. It's in the black and red. He's little working his way through, getting a lot closer.
Lord Brian looks the first horse beat going out the back of the TV.
Which one, sorry?
Lord Brian.
Lord Brian. Okay, yeah, he's gone backwards, hasn't he? I've not seen Royal Village as well since he got a little bit... Oh, yeah, okay, he's making his way through now, actually. Of course, they've got Franklin de Burley as well, James Bowen on. He was given a mention in the paper by a couple, wasn't he? And he's creeping into it a little bit as well. Is this a front runner we should be giving a bit of respect to now, TC?
Look, you have to give respect to him. I don't think he'll hold on. I think there are still plenty going in, well in behind. As you see there, I think he's just been overtaken as well.
Lord Brian pulling up then. Is that Fireaway that's struggling
Yeah,
out back
beaten.
as well? Yeah, he hasn't fancied
who's
it
hit
at
the
all
front?
today, has he? Another disappointing
Mersin
one
Prince, Captain Tomcat.
there. Okay, dance on. Loads of them off the bridle keels.
Yeah, plenty off it. That is Pink Eye moved
Tell
into
you what,
fourth, isn't it? He's going nicely.
This is the day, man.
Yeah.
I think
Solomon
Pink Eye's
Gray
coming,
going
isn't
well
he?
as well.
Solomon
Solomon
Gray cruising. Again, you wonder sometimes what's off the bonnet. Accelerator Express isn't done with yet, but he's got loads to do. Top of the Cotswolds, just struggling.
Yeah,
for
no,
pace
he's
a little
under
bit.
it. He's not far off it, but he's under it all right.
Temple Park giving his all now as well. He's circling the field a little bit.
It all changing this. It all depends
Sebastian
on how quickly
Beach
they
is
go.
another one. This is Solomon Gray. Yeah, okay, we're coming to the famous third last then at Market Rasen. You have to get a good jump here and land running. Franklin de Burley tapped in Tomcat then. What price is he going now? He went all the way out to 8-1, but he's taken it up at the third last. Is he going to last?
He's
Oh,
out to
that
20.
looks a bit short. Yeah, he's gone. Pink-eyed Pedro Kills. This
Yeah,
is it.
Pink Eye's coming
Tell
in.
me you had a saver, man.
No.
Unbelievable scenes. Kills has not gone for the pink-eyed. His
He's
big
not
shout.
winning anyway. He's got beat by
Franklin de
Franklin
Burley, is he going to go
He's
low?
winning
What
again.
price? Yeah, he's going very low on the exchange there. He's over the second last. He's
the last.
absolutely winged it. The Bowens had Lord Brian pull up. Let's hope he's all right. But they're going to take it out, aren't they? This is Franklin de Burley in the very well-known colours, of course. Roddy Owen, isn't it, of course? He's a local lad to me, Roddy Owen. Drinks in a pub near me, and his horses are always well talked up. Let's hope they've had a good cheer there. That has spread eagled them, TC.
Yeah, quickened up really nicely. Travelled into the straight powerfully, and it looked like he was idling close to the line. So he might be worth a bigger margin of victory. Accelerate Express ran on nicely as well into second.
Peter Bowen, there you go. That's about his seventh win of the race, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. Bowen's summer plates, you think about him all the time, don't you? It's his...
Should be that
Let's have a
easy,
look.
really, shouldn't it?
Yeah, he last won it going back, more bucks in 2018, but it's a prize that the yard are associated with. Barry, okay, Captain Tomcat took it up at the third last, albeit under pressure. He went low again, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Would you believe there was £100 traded at pens on? That must have been a bloomer by someone with fat fingers. Yeah, 266 for £3. Tenner at 277 there. 282 he traded at a low of for £106 in running. Never that price for me at any stage. Darling Malte traded a low of 3.05. It wasn't a massive in running story, but Pink Eyed Pedro 3.1 I think ran on to finish third or fourth. But yeah, he's made his own that race, Peter Bowen, hasn't he? I think he's won it 6 or 7 times now. He's synonymous with the summer plate.
It's great to see the brothers there. Obviously, Lord Brian was okay because Sean came back in there, didn't he? And was whacking him on the head. They must have fancied it. Roddy Owen is the horses are those colours we know. As I said, he drinks in local to me, and every time I go there, the Crown in Little Missenden, this pub. If you're anywhere near there, go down there now. He's probably buying the drinks. These horses are. He's had some decent ones over the years, hasn't he? This is a very progressive chap, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that was very good, wasn't it? Like, you keep winning, taking out these big field handicaps. But again, it's summer racing. What is he going to do over the winter? Just be put away?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, the thing is about the summer jumpers. We talk about summer jumpers being overrated when it comes to handicap markets.
Oh, don't go there.
Summer good ground is a lot quicker than winter good ground, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, what they call it. So
Yeah, should we have a quick word about that? These inflated ratings, yeah.
Well, you think they're inflated? They're probably showing that form, but they're showing that form against a smaller pool of horses on ground that they're
Completely
not, don't
different.
have. I mean, you can get the same going stick reading, but I'm sure the surface is much different in good ground in November than it is in July.
It seems a bit horrible, doesn't it, in mid-July to be thinking about why the Irish mobbed up so much. It's
Yeah.
But there was still being things looked at there. Okay, shall we move quickly on?
Really good training performance, I have to say, by Peter Bowen. This horse was being beaten off marks of 117, 120 early in his career. He's just won that off 137. Clearly turned inside out this year and is improving as an 8-year-old, which you don't often see.
No, it'd be a Paddy Power Gold Cup, we think, probably coming up next. Yeah, okay for him. So maybe, there you go, a long-range Cheltenham fancy for November in July. There we go. That's the summer plate done. We've got one more, I think, coming, haven't we, from Market Rasen. Yeah, the 310. Well, we're less than an hour away from the Irish Oaks at the Curragh as well. But right now, we must go back to Newbury. Great card as ever on a Saturday. You get it in Berkshire, don't you? And it is the Hackwood Stakes coming up. And there's a horse in this, Barry Orr, that's got a massive following for an owner that's sizzling at the moment. It's Her Majesty's King's Lynn.
Yeah, 3.55 at the moment, favoured on the exchange ahead of last year's winner, Tabdeed, who's 4.1. It's 6, Diligent Harry, and it's 11 Barwell. Happy Romance, 10.5. Method, 11.5. Few quid knocking around for that. 11 Royal Commando. I want to lay the favourite, but I don't want to lay it at that price, to be perfectly honest with you. I know, like, I took him on when he won the Achilles up in Haydock. And he was, Moskill finished second that day, and I thought he was a horse I was going to be against for the remainder of the season. Now, Moskill hasn't really let the form down, having finished runner-up last day to a nice horse at King Powers, that Winter Power, and was a little bit unlucky in the King's Stand in that he was drawn on the right side. He met a bit of traffic problems, and you could say the same. He was finished on top of them. I laid him in the place market in the Wokingham, and he finished on top of them there. So I want to be laying him at around the 2-1 mark, not at 3.65 and 3.55. So what we'll do is we'll select our own odds. We're looking to lay him, but we're looking to lay him at 3.05, say. We'll put in to take 50 quid at the backer's stake. He's a horse I haven't got right all year, and you know, if I was to go out, I'd feel wrong to lay him at anything over 2-1 at the moment. So I'd be happy if I get matched around the 2-1 mark. If I don't, I wouldn't be losing any sleep over it. It's a very, very difficult race, in my opinion.
A horse you haven't got right this year. You are not alone out there, Barry Orr. This chap has a whopping following because they've always known that he was, you know, capable of running these Group 3
last year he was running at Ayr at a ludicrous price.
He favourite for the Silver Cup, wasn't he?
He was favourite for the Silver Cup, wasn't he? Yeah. Yeah, and he finished right down the field, 4-1 favourite in a field of 24.
8-11 to beat Starman as well. Then obviously.
Wow.
Yeah, and obviously he's running against some very good horses, isn't he?
But at Royal Ascot,
you can't knock him. At Royal
he
Ascot,
showed something decent at
Royal Ascot. He may well have been second in the King's Stand if he'd have got a run, and he was third in the Wokingham and didn't get quite a run.
No, he didn't.
And one of those races was on good at firm ground, one of those races on soft ground. So, yeah. I mean, he is at the stage now where you can't knock him. All you can do, like Barry says, knock the price, and you know he wants to go a little bit lower than that. I think it's fair enough. The price, the market has always had this down as a 3-runner race. The lack of all-weather form for Diligent Harry has seen him go out on the drift, and they've come for King's Lynn and Tabdeed. He might not want the ground to get as quick as it's getting. I've, you called me a forgiving man earlier.
Well, you are.
I've forgiven Method.
This is the Method project. I told you it was a project punt.
I had a few quid each way on him in the July Cup last week, thinking he might run a race at a big price. He hated the track. He drifted across it. I mean, he does race very keenly, but when you look at his form and where he's run really, really well. First time out as a 2-year-old, he absolutely hacked up Doncaster flat track. Fev Rover was second, so it wasn't a race full of mugs, and he won the race by 4.5.
I love listening to you talking about Method because you could literally, we could go out now, we could go to the bar TC and let him just talk about it.
He looks like this is a very, very good horse, especially when he won here and beat the Gurkha, who won a Group 3 2 starts later. Because he cruised through the race on ground similar to
Mighty Gurkha.
The Mighty Gurkha.
You did that yesterday when we were chatting about
the Mighty,
it. Not the classic winning French.
You're right.
Mighty Gurkha,
There's too many horses getting in your head, don't they? Too many names. All
Method's got in your head, man. I can tell you that much.
No, he has got in my head because I do think he's talented.
It is interesting. He's out quick.
He was beaten 2.25 lengths by Rohan and Dragon Symbol at Haydock, and he actually got there cruising on the leader just over a furlong out, and his bottomless ground there, and I don't think he got home. So I've given him one more shot.
Tom Marquand on, of course. Yeah, which is nothing wrong with that whatsoever. He is interesting Method, isn't it? Get your selections in for the Hackwood Stakes. You've got 6 minutes to do so. We know you're out there. Let's get some more of you up on the screen. Now he's in the social corner then. Paul Bakewell comes back on. You're doing well with the socials today, Paul. Method, you must be just channeling kills all the way out there. Martin Mead's horses are performing at the moment. Trainer always said ground fast is key. All right, each way, all right. Each way with the 7 runners.
Just about, you looking just about 3 on Betfair for 3 places in a 7-runner race.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way I play it. I'm going to have a little bit on him. I'm chancing Tabdeed, but we'll get to that in a minute because we've got another one out there. Manny Draycott comes back on and says, Diligent Harry for me. We'll give him a word in a second. I mentioned I'm with Tabdeed, last year's winner of the race. Identical prep. He ran at Newcastle in the chip chase, wasn't it? We've actually, even though he's beaten further 2 places this year, we've actually rated him higher. It was a better comeback, according to our handicappers. I thought it was decent. It is the ground kills with this horse, isn't it? He doesn't. He's been withdrawn a couple of times from Lightning. He's obviously had a few problems over the years.
Yeah.
The fact they're still running him, though, I think
it's
they probably
it's
fancy
probably
it.
safe. I mean, the going stick this morning was on the, it would have been on the good side of good to firm. Now, obviously, it's been baking hot all day, so it might have dried out a bit.
Yeah.
But
I think he ought to be fav.
It's not extremely fast ground, is what I'd say.
Yeah. So I like him, and I think you're getting a bit of value there. So it's last year's winner for me, Tabdeed. Diligent Harry, one of our viewers went for, it was Mally, wasn't it, of course. A horse that they pulled out of Royal Ascot, held all before him on the all-weather. I think we can say that at the start of the season, came out nowhere, TC.
Yeah, I mean, he's by due diligence. He's had plenty of turf winners. There wouldn't be any shock if he was as good on turf as he is on the all-weather, but the thing is, he's just not proven yet, and when the horse isn't proven, there's negative there, right?
Yeah.
And this is a competitive race. You can make a case for plenty. I'm with you with Tabdeed. I think he's got a great chance. Can't really add too much more to what you said. Similar prep. Thought he ran really well actually at Newcastle. I was with him that day, finished 4th.
Yeah.
In a race where they went hard early.
So.
Yeah. I thought if he actually reproduced his effort when he won this race last year and achieved an RPI of 115, then he'll probably go close to winning this again for the second year in a row. I don't like Kings Lynn. 2 runs at Royal Ascot in a short space of time. I know 4 weeks break, but
small field as well.
5 and 6 furlongs though, sprinters, they're tough.
When Barry mentioned that he opposed him in the Achilles, he beat Moskill, who is turning out to be a rather good benchmark for the top sprinters, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's got Batage form, he wins a power form.
Yeah.
So look, and that day we thought we had it, Barry, didn't we? And he was almost thought about it that day, but he got his head over the line. I'm with you. Yeah. This is not one you want to lay too big.
Yeah, he did have a little think about it now, but I just watched it back last night again for about the 3rd time, and he's won easily at the finish. He's actually won going away at the line, but I just didn't think the form would add up to much. But like you say, subsequently, Moskill hasn't let him down really, and I just don't know. I just don't know whether he's going to find there's no pace for him to aim at here. I really don't know where the pace is going to come from, and like who's going to make it here, and I don't know whether that will suit him. So.
The outsiders might. Royal Commando for Charlie Hills, Marco Gianni already off the mark, isn't he, with Real World? And Royal Crusade as well. Despite coming for big sprinting yards, they haven't really showed their hand.
Diligent Harry maybe could go off.
Potentially.
Could try to make it, but I was struggling to find where the pace was coming from here.
Yeah, certainly won't be Happy Romance, would it? She ran well last time.
Yeah, she looked like she wasn't going to train on at one point, didn't she?
Yeah.
But she has, and she ran well. She ran very well in 3rd last time. So she's definitely.
She was the.
Sorry, there's racing on in the background. An accidental agent is just about to win at Newbury.
Did you back it?
No, I didn't.
We spoke to the trainer, didn't we, yesterday?
Horse. We spoke to the trainer.
There goes the Balmoral plan.
We have to tell the producer to turn the telly off for other races because I can't help it. I just saw it. I've not had a bet or anything. My old favourite horse. He's won a race. Beautiful.
Oh yeah,
that was
as well. I don't know if you saw the feature show me and Kills did with Eve Johnson Out on our social channels. We're basically the biggest fan of Eve Johnson Out, and we're going to struggle to get him back in the studio. I think the way today's going. Okay, are you with Kings Lynn? Are you against Kings Lynn? Tabdeed, you can see the spotlight verdict there, but Hugh Masson, lots to like about Hugh Masson, and good to have you back on, Hugh. He says, Kings Lynn, the best bet of the day. Newbury Suits, Oshin Sit, and Pounce. I'm not with you on this project, Hugh. I'm with you on a lot of things, but
it's interesting. The thing about Diligent Harry, again, it's an unknown rather than a negative, and it's not like he's been in voiding grass because he only made his debut in January. You know what I mean? So he's not had the chance to run on any turf, and the one time he wanted to, the rain chucked it down and he got the bottomless ground. We know from that they don't want the ground to be bottomless, but like Tom said, I mean, the stallion gets plenty of winners on turf, so why not?
Find out about it.
Again, it's one of these races that I think is tighter than the market suggests. It wouldn't surprise me if the front 2 in the market ended up finishing 1st and 2nd, but by the same token, I think there were some talented horses in here.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
They're not far. There's not that much between them. But then, if 6 of them could finish within a length and a half of each other, and the right 2 could still be 1st and 2nd. Couldn't they?
Right, so the Tin Man have won this in the past 10 years, haven't they? So listen, this could be Haydock time.
Well, it's quite often a race where horses come on. They make their group breakthrough. as
Interesting.
well.
So perhaps that
so
could be King's Lynn then. So method for kills. It's the old
I
methodical
think a
project.
lot of these will be making a group breakthrough, wouldn't they?
Who's the one you haven't saved on here? There seems to be a bit of a trend.
Oh gosh.
Who's the one that you were like, nah, I don't think I will?
But I can't because I can't save on anything because Barry's had a lay instead of a bet. That's the problem.
Are we matched, Barry? Probably not, are we? Did you want to revisit the trade at all, Barry? Or?
Oh,
No, he's
leave it running.
325 now, so the market's coming in our direction. Whether we get down to 305 remains to be seen, but we'll give him another couple of minutes.
I wondered whether he might have been an in-running target for you, Barry, this chap.
Yeah, I just find in these sprints, like if you get matched, it's because the horse is about to win. It's not when they get chinned.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. All right. A lesson learned there for all of us, I think, out there from the big hitter from Betfair himself. So myself and Top Cat, Tom Collins and Steve Boo, who's napped it, the Spotlight Verdict. That's what you get here, premium content. Let's face it, you've got Sizzlers himself sitting on the panel this Saturday as well, and Tom Collins as well. We're having a great time. We know you're out there watching. Stick with us. Like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, of course. Here we go then. It's the Hackwood Stakes, fast and furious. Who is going to lead? That's the question. Off we're about to find out. Royal Commando certainly wanted a bit early for Marco Gianni and Royal and Charlie Hills and Royal Crusade, but Barry called it. It is indeed Diligent Harry, and very straightforward. He's leading down the centre. Method on the near side, then King's Lynn out the back. Tab D taking a pull, and Happy Romance out the back as well. Kills, you're in a share of the lead on Method.
Yeah, I don't mind that actually because he always races keenly, so why not let him get on with it if that's what he wants to do?
Yeah, okay. And Tom Marquand, they're definitely nearer the stand side is often where you want to be when it comes.
Yeah, I don't know whether that actually counts when the ground's fast, but we should
Tab
see.
D's cruising, TC. Has he
he's
been a
the-
bit keen early?
Yeah, the only one not to get cover. The other three in two separate groups running an Indian file. Now King's Lynn's been brought across to the right.
Tom Marquand's going out for him a long way.
Tell you what, Will Buick fancies his chances, but here comes King's Lynn now then. All right, we're getting to the action. Come on, Method, what you got? Tab Deed is filling his lungs. Classy animal, Tab Deed. If he goes on the ground, look at Happy Romance. If she gets a run, this is going to be great. All right, let's have a look at this. King's Lynn, you could say, is sunk. Diligent Harry not going down without a fight. Tab Deed, can he get over the line? Here comes Happy Romance. Going to come in, is he? On the outside, Happy Romance has got it. Looks like she's just done Tab Deed and Diligent Harry. Sean Levy, of course, you saw him, didn't you, taking out the July Cup, the Falmouth, I should say, sorry, on Snow Lantern. He's just rode another peach there. Method, are we now jumping off that one, Keels?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, do you think it might be a 5 furlong horse after all this?
Oh,
Like, you know what I
it's
mean?
forgiving.
It's
And
pretty
there
quick,
is-
isn't it? It's pretty quick, isn't he?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
You know, but I don't know. But he's just probably not as good as I hoped he was.
What do you have to do to upset you? Do you have to, like, nick your pint or something?
I don't get upset,
Method
mate. You
is
can't,
leaving.
you can't. You know, what's the point? You know, it's only money. You know,
Well, quite
we'll have another go
absolutely.
next week.
But isn't it funny how you can turn yourself into talking about, you watch these horses, you watch these projects, and you go, okay, we're not quite there yet.
Yeah, well, let's have another think and let's see
Yeah.
what about this one? What about that one? You got to do that. That's the way you got to look at things, isn't it?
Yeah. King's Lynn sunk then, Barry Orr. Happy Romance, back to form. She's got a big following as well.
Yeah, she won the Sprint Cup on this card last year, if you recall. Well, it was on the Sunday, but 19 for 28 or 22 for 15 quid. That was the highest. It was matched for double figures. Habib hit a low of 1.50 for 892 quid. So 2-1 on for that. Diligent Harry's ran a cracker trying to make all, hit a low 1.68 for 45 quid. That's the in-running story of the race. But your winner, Happy Romance, a bet for SP of 14.5. She was a springer in the anti-post market. There was money for at 16 into around the 10-1 mark. But she was quite friendless today on the exchange.
And good remember there. She was, of course, the Super Sprint winner, wasn't she, of course, in that week campaign we had. Yeah, great knowledge there from Barry Orr. And it's another peach from Sean Levy. We thought we had it there, TC, didn't we?
Yeah, I thought Tabsy had no excuses. He hit the front. He just got run down by a horse that would have been unlucky in Happy Romance if she didn't win. I thought she was in a pocket at the wrong point of the race. And she seemed to hang a little bit left as well when angled out. But she ran on well. And it's a credit to Richard Hannon, who's managed to get her to bounce back in the second year. She's only a small filly as well. So, look, it's good to see she's trained on. Diligent Harry's the horse I'm taking out of the race, though. I love the way he battled back to repass Tabdeed after being passed by the
First time he's led probably as well, isn't
Yeah.
it? I would imagine he sort of stalked a bit on the all weather, didn't he? And then pounced as well. So Tab Deed last year's winner second. King's Lynn, small field, forget it, let him bounce back, or is this going to be one of those?
Oh, I mean, he's in the he's now in the range that he's going to be running in small fields, really, isn't he? In group and listed races,
unless you go for the top,
unless you go for the real top ones. So, maybe like Tom said, it may have been one step too far.
Do you know that going into that race, Her Majesty had her last 7 runners, 5 had won.
She had a hat trick yesterday, didn't she?
She had a treble. Absolutely not. Yeah, there you go. Great to see, isn't it? All right. Happy in Windsor. Happy at Market Rasen we have been as well in the 310. This is the race I found rather difficult, I must say, of all of them. I really had to get my thinking cap on. He's 0 from 2 so far, Dr. Richard Newland. But I was hoping that Taste the Fear could make amends for an unlucky defeat. I think he just got worried out of it slightly, but he was up there throughout. Barry Alt, where did you see this going, the 310 at Market Rasen?
Yeah, I was your favourite Giovanni Change is 3.15, 4.5 Taste the Fear. Ask Henry, I thought had a chance 6.2. Barham Flyer 7.8, 11.5. Bar. Obviously there were 8 runners in this, but there's 2 non-runners. But the three place market still stays on the exchange as is, as opposed to traditional bookmakers or fixed odds bookmakers who would revert to 2 places here. I'm going to lay Giovanni Change. I know he's won twice over in Market Rasen. He won over at 2.5 miles, and then over today's trip, he was 114 on the first time he won, then 121. He's ran well in Aintree last time over hurls when he was just beaten a half a length by Poshima. And then he got a nice pipe opener in Catrick to put him spot on for this, I would imagine. But I'm going to take him on because, like I said, I think there's other horses in the race that I'd give a big chance to. Ask Henry definitely being one of them. A Distant Lady I was given a bit of a chance to. She's the outsider of the field. So we're just going to take 25 quid out of her, please, Tom. And happy to be a price taker here at 3.35, 25 quid in the win market. And we're going to take 25 quid out of her in the place market as well, or out of him in the place market, the standard place market where it's 3 places at around 2 to 1 on. So to lose by 12.50. So taking on Giovanni Change in the win and place market.
Okay, that's a charity trade then. The final race of the day at Market Rasen. I was wanting to take him on as well. As I mentioned with Taste the Fear, just think he did a bit too much too soon last time at Worcester. Still only beaten a whisker. He'll do for me. Kills, how did you see this one playing out?
I like Barham Flyer, the old man of the party. I mean, he hasn't won since I was a teenager. I was going to say since I was in shorts, but I am in shorts.
You are always in shorts, Kills.
But if you look at some of his form from 2021, it's very good. Second, beating half a length to Scaramanga at Sandown on the last day of the season at April. Scaramanga's just taken out the 2-mile handicap here. Third, beating 2 1/4 lengths, Nicholas T on the flat, as subsequently taken out the Northumberland Plate. How many of these would get anywhere near Nicholas T on the flat? None of them.
Yeah. What happened last time at Worcester? He just looked.
I don't know. It was a little. He was a little.
I keep waiting for him to bounce back.
Yeah, he was a little bit below form. But the one thing he hasn't done for a horse that has some really, really decent staying
can
form.
run in Cesarowicz's and things like that.
Yeah, it has some really decent staying form. Second, very close to Cleonte for once a couple of years ago. He never ran over a staying trip over hurdles. I mean, maybe they've always thought he wouldn't stay, but he gets tongue-tie pieces combination for the first time. I'm just interested. He's just got loads of solid bits of form that make me think he's going to.
I think of all the horses running anywhere today, he's the back class horse of the day, isn't he?
Well, yeah, I think so. And, but some of that form is, some of his form this year under both codes is pretty reasonable.
I'm sure you put him up earlier in the year when we were together doing something.
I think that was when he was third to Nicholas T, funnily enough.
There's another theme here, Kills. It's a forgiving day.
It's a forgiving day. He didn't do anything wrong. Listen, most of the horses you tip and back in your life are going to lose, especially if you do so in competitive races. It's that simple. So just because a horse gets beat doesn't mean it's done anything wrong. It's just a fact of life.
And they're the sort of prices, aren't they, Kills? We don't have to go heavy. You can have a bit of fun when you wait for it to come back and you get rewards.
6 to 1. What's the problem? You know what I mean? So I'm having a little go at him again. You thought it says Class 2, not 150, but let's not forget this is just a run of the mill handicap hurdle race with a top rate rated 132.
Yeah, so it's actually
a winnable,
way down, isn't it? £18 below.
Very winnable race.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't like the favourite either. None of us are going from TC. Knock it out the park. Favourite?
No, the Distant Lady at a big price. Outside of the field, I think around 8 to 1 for Graham McPherson and Keelan Woods. I was really impressed last time out at Newton Abbot. She ran down Flora Bouquet, who's in form at the moment. Flora Bouquet looked to have that race sewn up. Kicked for home round in the bend, went 5 lengths clear, and I think traded around 1 to 10 in running. And then the Distant Lady ran her down. Obviously, stamina's her strong suit, and dropping down in trip to 2 mile 7.5 from 3 mile 2.5 isn't necessarily a positive, but she seems a filly who a mare, sorry, who remains unexposed, relatively lightly raced with just 13 runs. She was really unlucky on her reappearance at Worcester as well when she made a horrific mistake 3 out. I thought if she continued on the upward curve, she's got a good chance at a big price.
Okay, there you are. There's a range of opinions there. It's just the 6 runners, but we've got a few in this race. You've got, around about a minute away from the off time, we think, at Market Rasen, our final race of the day. That means we're around about quarter of an hour away from classic time at the Curragh. Yes, it's the Irish Oaks, it's Snowfall. Are you with? Are you got her in multiples? What's going on out there? How are you playing this? You're about to find out how Barry Orr will play it once we get this Market Rasen business finished here on the show. Let's hope you're enjoying things out there. Myself, Dave Orton, back with you this weekend. Paul Kealy. Keels, no winners so far, but we're getting pearls of wisdom for you. We're enjoying life. It's not too serious.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It's not the biggest racing weekend of the year, is it? But there have been good races.
We could have had a meeting from last week moved over, couldn't we?
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, one of those things, isn't it? I'd much prefer Yorks would have been on today as well. I'd have had a winner as well.
A 22-1 winner.
Or two. But no, it's not. Backing losers is not a problem. It's a part and parcel of what you do. I mean, I've actually just backed Byron Flyer again, and he's gone out.
The rag of the lot.
He's now the rag of the lot. I still think that's the wrong price myself. So I might have another couple of quid on him yet.
We've got the Super Sprint to go, of course.
We have the Super Sprint to go. We've got the Irish Oaks coming up in 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that because everyone wants to now see back this weird, freaky 14-length win up, don't we, Tom? That what she did at in the Epsom Oaks, different ground, but she was all right in the Musidora, wasn't she, on a fairly sound surface? What are you expecting today from Snowfall?
I think she'll win. We got asked this question.
Thanks for that, TC. I mean, she's 5's on.
We got asked this question in the punting club yesterday, and I just replied saying I think she'll win. I don't think she'll be anywhere near as impressive as she was in the Epsom Oaks. I hate when people call it the Epsom Oaks, but Irish Oaks, the Kazoo Oaks. I thought that race was full of horses that didn't stay the trip, and the ground was obviously very testing. I think she'll win by 3 lengths. They asked what the winning margin prediction would be. So I'll go 3 lengths. I think Divinely will run a good race as well in behind. It'd be interesting to see how the pace develops because you see these classics at the Curragh won by front runners, don't you, occasionally? Aidan O'Brien front runners, Sovereign and the like. They go clear and the rest of the field can't peg them back. I don't think Ballydoyle want that to happen. They want Snowfall to win to continue building her profile.
I mean, she went for it. Didn't she go from the front at York anyway in the Musidora? So she can.
I think she'll. I actually think
set her own. I have a feeling that she's grossly flattered by the Oaks result.
About to find out, Keels. I can't wait.
We can only find out that she isn't today because if she wins by 5 lengths, so what? They're only listed class.
Yeah, I guess that Divinely and the Ribblesdale, that they also ran in the Ribblesdale. That would give us a benchmark on it, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
to a certain extent.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Oh, it's exciting stuff anyway. Lots of people fancy her for the Arc, rightly so. Will she be? I got the feeling she's probably the one they want for the Arc in case the ground turns awful. Anyway, okay, that is coming up at 3:25. An early steer for you then from TC on the.
And none of us like the favourite Market Rasen, which is getting shorter and shorter and shorter.
Yeah, Barry Giovanni change smash up.
Yeah, big time. Into 13-8 now from 5-2. Taste of Fear 8-7-2, 9-2 or 11-2. Ask Henry 10. Byron Flyer and 11. Ballinalis, the Distant Lady, also 10-1 chance. So yeah, it's all about the favourite. Maybe get a soft lead.
For a yard that had a double yesterday, the Wolford team, Tim Wolford, they like to have a go at the bookies. These lot, absolutely, very much the Wolfords, and hoping that it will come on for its last one over hurdles. It has run on the flat since the grey. Giovanni change, if you're with that, shortening all the time. Barry Orr laying, none of us going for it, of course, here on the panel. I'm having Taste of Fear will now be a bit of value. Byron Flyer, an old friend for Paul Kealy, and the Distant Lady. The puns that I could have come up with for that. So this has probably taken me off air forever. So I shall recoil. Okay, that means we're nearing the business end of the show. The Super Sprint, the feature race of the day. Where are you going in that? Get your picks in. Let us know out there how you're doing on this sizzling Saturday. It's only going to get hotter as well. Barry, I know what I was going to ask you, Barry, as they get ready to go off at Market Rasen. Few bigger golf fans out there than you at the moment. How's your portfolio at the minute for the Open? One of the great tournaments. Great to see it back. Royal St George's. Who's going to win that, man?
Oh, Jamie. It's a difficult one. I didn't have a bet in it. pre-tournament, would you believe, Dave, to tell you the truth? Louis Estes, and he wouldn't be one of mine. I do like Colin Morikawa. I backed him when he won his first major in San Francisco, but I'll be taking on Louis Estes, and he's 5-2 at the moment on the exchange. And if he goes any shorter than that, I'll definitely be laying him in running. I'll have a good look at it tonight. I'll enjoy a few beers watching it, and I'll play around on the exchange, try to get myself into a green book.
Superb, absolutely. If you want a bit of fun tomorrow, I can tell you that The Sweet Spot, one of the shows we do here, Bruce Millington and Steve Palmer, will be on our social channels doing it live. What can possibly go wrong? Okay, here we are. We are finally off at Market Rasen. We're at 4 minutes overdue, and Giovanni changed the plunge of the race straight to the front. What's behind? Taste the Fear. So the two market rivals going at it over the first hurdle. The Distant Lady sits in third. Byron Flyer anchored out the back. Stamina to prove today. He's over that just about okay. Ask Henry there as well. And Bally Alice for Team Tristan Davis sitting out the back as well. Kills. Byron Flyer.
Well, it's a very easy lead for the Jolly, isn't it? Byron Flyer's pretty keen. If you're going to be that keen, then be keen 5 lengths closer than you
seen
are.
a bigger pair of ears than Giovanni Change has got.
He's got a fair old.
Like Henry Cecil would be snapping him up, wouldn't he? Look at the size of those ears. It's like a rabbit. And he's enjoying himself out in front, that means, basically. Taste of Fear keeping tabs on him. What sort of gallop are they going, TC?
Not too quick, but they are very spread out. So they're going an honest gallop, 14.72. I think that's 0.2 seconds quicker than last time in the summer play, but obviously that's over fences. I'd be very happy with the Distant Lady back in third in the prime position. No excuses from there. Or for the front two. Giovanni changes an often front runs. There's no surprise that he's out in front, but the Betfair market crashed as soon as they saw him lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Barry, absolutely. Favourite, out in front early, easy lead, only going one way in the market.
Yeah, the Betfair SP of 6-4, 2.47, and as soon as they jumped off and he got that uncontested lead, he came into even money. He's 1.92 now, so 10-9 on. Taste of Fear 4-0, and it's 12-5 each of two, Distant Lady and Ask Henry.
I've had a bit on Taste of Fear, Kills. He's just a little bit fiddly, that one, but I'm happy that he's keeping closest tabs on this. Do you think he's going a bit too hard, or will he slow it right down?
It's very hard to say. They don't look like they're going particularly fast ground, do they? But there's a long way to go. So I couldn't tell you exactly what the splits would need to be for 3 mile round Market Rasen in the summer.
That's where we need Keith Melrose to come back.
Yeah, we need somebody. We need somebody in there with some par figures and all that. But it seems to be a steady 30 miles per hour if you can trust what the TV is saying.
Well, absolutely, quite right. But the favourite has got an easy lead at the minute. TC, where do you think he's just going to last home? Your Distant Lady's got a nice fair sight on him.
Yeah, and she likes a fast gallop. Obviously, as I mentioned beforehand, she has the stamina to run over further. She ran over 3 mile, 2.5 last time. So will clearly benefit from this, solid pace, if we can describe it as that. They're not going slow. Yeah. Solid pace up front will probably suit those, and it's helping Byron Flyer actually settle a little bit. If they were going a crawl, then you'd imagine he would be reefing and tugging more than he is.
Yeah, Byron looks like a horse that wants to be on the flat going a bit faster, Kills, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does at the moment. I mean, obviously he's got a fair bit of hurdles experience as well. And sometimes he looks like they're going too fast for him. So you might, it all depends on whether he stays, really, doesn't it? He's not pulling his chance away. He's just a little bit keen.
Yeah, first time cheap pieces of him today. He was a visor last time. Bally Elis then, the one that looked like he had a bit to find, didn't he? He's sort of on and off the bridle, isn't he? Ask Henry out the back at the moment as well. OK, Barry, we've got a full circuit to go. He's just back out above evens at the minute.
Yeah, 206 now, Dave. 3.6 Taste of Fear has come in. 11 each of two, Ask Henry, Byron Flyer, Distant Lady, and it's 55 Bally Elis.
Thank you very much then, Barry Orr. OK, good luck. If you're on the plunge, best place to be up front. If you've got speed, put him on the lead, says Wes Ward very famously at the minute. Oh, goodness gracious me. I'm impressed with his Golden Pal, by the way, in the week. We'll get a word about TC and his selections. There's a big meeting at Saratoga later on out there for you as well. But at the moment, it's Market Raspberry, as the locals call it, and it is the staying handicap. We've had some fun there so far. Is he just throwing out a distress signal or two on this lead, or is he?
I don't know whether he's trying to. Maybe he's just trying to stretch him a bit now. I can't say. I wouldn't call it a distress ring. It's too far out from home for a distress ring, unless they have gone miles too fast, which would obviously please me because I'm still in there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he's coming up a bit as well, isn't he, Byron Flyer, a little bit? You can see the market developing in front of your eyes.
Ask Henry struggling a bit.
This is 4 out now, I think, isn't it? Yeah, Taste of Fear, really nice big jump there. He's sort of fiddling a little bit. He's very low, I think, the favourite, isn't he?
I've been right about the stress signals. He might not be 100% happy. He looks a lot happier on the second, doesn't he?
It just, absolutely. It just looked like he tried to get away from them and he hasn't been able to, basically. OK, TC, Diligent Lady, flatten that one.
Yeah, she's gonna go get one pace at some point in the race. She's a bit of a plodder rather than a quickener. But look, she's still in a prominent position, only 2 lengths behind the leader.
Tell you what, Kills, are you sensing...
New favourite now, Taste of Fear gone favourite in running.
Yeah, I'm sensing
Okay,
I'm
different
sensing
couple
I've
of
got half a
strides.
chance. I mean, this is, uncharted territory, as they say.
Yes.
But if
this is a horse that stays well on the flat, isn't
yeah, it doesn't always work, though, does it? It doesn't always work.
Yeah, OK, but he's still hanging in there, the favourite at the minute, look, and you can see that on the exchange. He's holding on to his price as well. Gamely hanging in there. Diligent Lady now, maybe just crying enough. Byron Flyer, what will he find? Taste of Fear, when will Sam Tristan Davis try and strike right now at the second last? Ask Henry coming back into it a little bit. He went right out. But OK, is this a matter of time then? But I think he just went too soon last time at Worcester. You can see that Sam Tristan Davis doesn't want to take it up quite yet. And over the second laugh, he just about does. That looks like Giovanni Change is gone, doesn't it? Goes low, as you can see, Taste of Fear. Byron Flyer trying to do it, not quite producing it all on the last jump. Taste of Fear, what's he got? Once again, he's idling, isn't he? Not doing hardly a tap out in front. Gives Giovanni Change another chance. Ask Henry there as well. Come on then, Taste of Fear. Finally, I can get one over the line, can't I? It only took the 3:10 at Market Rasen to do it. The one race I didn't even have a bet in today. Unbelievable scenes. OK then, Dr. Richard Newland, third time lucky at Market Rasen, takes it out. A good ride by Sam Tristan Davis. More in the locker for that chap. We must move on straight away. It's been fun in Lincolnshire. Well, we've got to go over to the Curragh straight away, guys, because we're not far away now, 5 minutes away from snowfall. It's sizzling out there, Barry, but we're expecting her to produce something special. How did you see this race playing out exchange-wise?
Yeah, this is a cracking race. Obviously, snowfall. What I can't say anything about her hasn't already been said. Although she's 1.30 now, she was 4s on. She's 3s on 2 to 7 around that mark now, and it's 12 bar Willow's 13.5, 20 Divinely, 19.59. This Party House is a 50 chance, and that's what I like in it without the favourite. So what I'm going to do is I thought the favourite would win. So I'm going to bet in the without the favourite market. So you can win the race, your horse, so you can come second to the favourite. And the horse I like in it, like I said, is Party House, currently trading at 10.0, which is 9 to 1. Third in the 8th over a mile 5. So she stays. We know that. We've established that because that was a cracking run behind Sir Lucan and Wordsworth. Now, obviously, Wordsworth has chased home Hurricane Lane a couple of times since in France and went third to him in the Irish Derby. So that's decent enough form. Went to a mile 2 in the Oaks trial in Naas after that, stumbled turning into the straight and was let basically come home in her own time. Wasn't knocked about there. I'm delighted they brought her here. I think Colin Keane, he's won this race a couple of years ago for Ballydoyle. Great jockey. I really like the price as well, that 10.0. So going to have 50 quid on her without the favourite because I think a lot of them will be playing their hands late for places here. And I think Colin Keane can sneak this one into a place. So hopefully finish second to the favourite at the very worst. So 10.0, we're going to have 50 quid on her. If we're not matched immediately, Tom, we can leave it there, and I'm sure we will. The market will be quite liquid without market, considering that it's such a short price favourite.
Thank you very much then, Barry. OK, we're expecting Snowfall to win, basically, but there could just be a fly in the ointment in Party House. Ger Lyons, Colin Keane. I think they took out the earlier Anglesey Stakes, didn't they, on the card, from what I can see. I saw some quotes flying around for the winner of that. Tenderly handled, said the Racing Post in running comment last time out behind Willow. Don't often see that. I have to say, I thought it was pretty straightforward.
It stumbled that day, Dave.
Yeah. We don't often see tender handling. And that means basically that Colin Keane just allowed her to coast home, didn't he, after that? Yeah. So should have finished closer to Willow. Interesting. I thought Willow was the obvious one without. I didn't like Divinely too much. I thought she had her chance at Epsom. I thought she had a chance at Ascot. Willow, if you remember at the start of the season, big girl this one. I think they've just about got her right. Whether she'll be good enough to give her stablemate a run, I don't know. But this is 8 runners. I thought it was one of the each-way bets of the day. Kills.
From place, I wouldn't say each-way bets of the day. I mean, I like a more realistic chance of winning, and I think they've all got to go some unless Snowfall doesn't run a race. But then, having said that, this happens a lot with probably more often than you realise with odds-on shots. I mean, I just wanted to ask Barry, actually, how gutted will you be if Snowfall blows out and Party House ends up winning the race and you haven't had at least a tenner at 50?
This is
I mean, I tell you, did Juddmonte International a few years ago, Golden Horn. I backed the filly Indian.
What was the
Yeah.
Come on, TC. You're the young man of the party. You got the memory. Come on.
What's her name? I can't remember.
I can't think
I'm
either.
gonna have to look it up there. But I backed her.
It was the Jeff Smith colours, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Arabian Queen.
Arabian Queen, yeah, Indian.
I got half it, yeah.
Arabian Queen. I backed her at 9-4, or roughly on the exchange, 4 places, and never had a bean on her to win. And she was at one point, bordering on 100 or something. And I've done it before. I backed a horse years ago called White Oak in the Mares. I think it might have been the first Mares hurdle at Cheltenham. No, because White Oak got up and won.
Oh, did it? Did it beat Refinement?
White Oak beat Refinement. And I'd backed Refinement to win, and I'd backed White Oak for a place, and I hadn't had a bean on White Oak. And why don't you? Because they're big prices. Have that couple of quid just in case.
Yeah,
that's what I do, and that's what I'd always say.
All right, okay. So TC, Snowfall by 3 lengths. You said Divinely to follow home.
Yeah, on the Betfair Exchange, there's a how far Snowfall market. I would be playing up to and including 3.75 lengths, 2.52 currently. And without the favourite, I played Divinely. I thought she ran a good race in the Oaks, finished third, came down the middle of the track.
Factor in that, didn't they? Do you remember?
Big prices, yeah.
Big prices, yeah.
She came down the middle of the track, ran well.
All right, big prices you're not getting about Snowfall. Are you hovering over the arc? Let us know. This is going to be great for the narrative of the season. Whatever happens, we'll find out whether she's flattered or not. Good luck wherever you're playing. It's Irish Oaks time, and off we do go. And is that nicest straight into a share of the lead?
Yeah, now Lajacond.
Lajacond, of course, who won last time out, finally won last time out. She's playing the hair at the minute. She's covered in sweat. Willow takes a piece of the action as well. Looking for Snowfall in the famous colours. Ryan Moore got a nicely settled in midfield. Upside Barry Orr's long-range pick. Party House, Divinely, just held up, a little bit keen as well. Out the back, the stragglers are Mariesk and Handful of Summers as well. Keels, one's gone clear.
Yeah, sort of thing you expect when Aidan O'Brien has 5, or Cornwall have 5 horses in the race. One of them's a short price favourite. They want a solid gallop. They're going to get a solid gallop. Perhaps Snowfall is just staying alongside the one they think there's a danger.
Yeah, okay. Well, this isn't going to stay there, TC. We're not looking at Sovereign Mott 2, are we?
No, I don't think so. I was quite surprised, actually, that they did go clear with Lajacond. I thought she would lead. She led last time, but I thought she'd stack the field up.
Well, that's up to the other jockeys, not the one in front, really, isn't it?
Very true.
You know what I mean? She's gone, and they've just decided to leave her alone. That's what sometimes happens when you get these silly results, isn't it?
Always at the Curragh as well. They always just let it go.
Snowfall, I wouldn't say she's ice cool at the moment. She's a bit full of herself on the inside. Barry Orr, but no movement in the market, no?
No, 1-3-1 at the moment, and it's 11.5 nicest. The market seems to think that's the biggest danger to the favourite in running at the moment. Anyway, Dave.
Yeah, she was the anti-post second favourite when they opened this up nicest. Of course, third in the Ribblesdale, wasn't she, behind Loving Dream? So just one place ahead of Divinely as well. OK, now we're starting to warm up a little bit on this approach to the famous turn as they reach the rising ground. And Willow's taking a bit of the action, you can see there. Nicest still on the inside. Party
Look
House.
at Colin Keane keeping in the favour.
Yes, absolutely. What will Snowfall find? OK, what's the market saying, Barry? Turning in.
Out to 2-1 on now, 1.50. Party House into 9.2.
Oh, OK. Could we see a bit of a turn up here? Now she's getting back on the bridle. OK. Now it opens up like...
they're getting out of the way.
All right, Willow then takes it up. Here comes Snowfall. What have we got, girl? Let's see what have we got. Is this the performance of a future ARC winner? Nicest is trying to rally. Party House doing her best. Looks like it's going to be a Ballydor 1, 2, 3. Willow, I'm hoping will get the second. It looks like Nicest might just be winning the battle for that. And this is absolutely all over. TC, you thought it would be 3 legs. It's more like 7, 8, 9, 10 times a distance.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the same as in the Oaks, isn't it? It's like 16 maybe.
Oh, that's impressive kills, isn't it?
You can't argue with it, can you? Keep winning races like that. I mean, Enable only used to win by 5 lengths every time she ran, didn't she? And then she's winning by double figures each time. She's obviously very, very good.
We shall pick the bones.
She has to, she has to do it in a much better race.
It's going to teach her a bit, though, isn't it? Don't you think? Because she was stuck.
I don't think she needs any teaching, does she? She ran loads of times as a 2-year-old. She's got experience.
I don't know. Yes, OK, all right, maybe not. Absolutely. What do you think out there? Was that the ARC winner? Did we see it? Barry Orr, how big did she go when she just found that wall of horses in front of her?
Well, 179, so
There you
4
go.
to 5 for 82 quid, 177 for 62 quid. At 170, there was 600 quid match, 598 quid matched at 176 or 170. So, yeah, they took her on just turning into the straight, but she's absolutely dancing at the finish. It was definitely the over 4 lengths or more was the winner there in the distance betting.
He's not like coasting home, was he?
Four
He's
to-
riding a
4
right
to
out.
6 from
pushing
5
her
to
right
4
out,
against for the Yorkshire Oaks and 4 from 11 to 2 for the Arc.
Thank you, Barry. Or I'm almost certain that will be the route they take. You'll be able to find out, of course, in your members section around about 6 o'clock tonight. You'll get all the quotes coming from Aidan and the lads. And, of course, check out that analysis as well. Top Irish team will be having a crack at that. We're just watching it turning in. TC, does this win the Arc?
I think she'll go very close. They've got to go that route, really. It's the perfect route, isn't it? If the Arc is the main aim. I thought Divinely ran really well again to pick up my
second?
money. Yeah, she finished well
Well
for
done,
second.
TC.
Well, I had to cop one with the lengths. The winning margin getting completely...
You got the lengths completely wrong, man.
Oh,
You've
yeah.
blown it up.
Wasn't even close, was it?
Tom Collins being conservative, never.
The thing is, I thought it would turn into a crawl early. I really did. I didn't think they'd send out a leader just in case something like Sovereign happened where, he went clear and they couldn't catch him. Obviously, Legicond is nowhere near good enough to win the race, but the early pace led to those in behind not quickening as well, and Snowfall gets the trip really well, as we saw in the Oaks. So she bolted up, didn't she? She's a very nice filly. Hopefully she'll be in the same mould as Love. She was last year and seems to be in this year too.
Turning in, Kills, I'm sure I heard you say she might be in a bit of trouble there.
Oh, she looked like she was, didn't she?
Yeah, well, I guess that's the one.
It's okay. She's got the, she'd got in a bit of trouble, and he looked like he's riding them along, like, you know what I mean. But obviously, once she hits that gear, she's got more gears than all the others. As simple as that.
You watch back the finish there, and he's rowing away. It's reminiscent of the winter game. We can talk about it because we've got Market Rasen, I suppose. But when you ever see these Mullins hot pots in Ireland, Patrick Mullins rides them all the way out to the line, and you're thinking he should be coasting home, But they want to find out how good they are. He has a little look, Ryan, as if to say, do you think they're just totally surprised by this filly?
Yeah, I think they might be, actually. They obviously are to a certain extent because, she was beaten several times last year and she just keeps coming out and getting better and blowing everything else away.
Saddlecloth filly.
I think it might be simply the case he's riding her out. She doesn't give him the feel of what she's doing.
That's what you want, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's what you want. These horses that take them by surprise.
Extremely good.
Yeah, all right, extremely good then. 4s on the sportsbook for the Arc. Are you with? Or are you going to go with one of the Colts?
4 to 1 fav, yeah.
4 to 1 fav then. They're going to split them up,
11 to
Barry,
2
aren't
Love.
they? Love. What price? What?
They'd love to win the Arc with a filly. It wouldn't bother them to do that, to race their fillies against each other. They wouldn't do it if they were colts, but the fillies, they'll race them against each other. No bother.
They'd do it if they were colts. They never used to bother running the fillies against colts in the Arc until a few years ago.
Yeah, it's a tricky
I
one.
I think if they have anything to throw at the Arc, they'll do it nowadays. I think that's
You
Yeah,
think so?
big time.
Just get
Yeah.
5 or 6 of them in. When
Yeah, I
found
think they
one,
will,
they have
yeah.
quite a
Well,
few.
St.
Yeah,
Mark's
yeah.
Basilica won't run in the Arc, will he?
Very unlikely.
He's their
I
only
think.
3-year-old colt, and he won't go to the Arc.
Yeah.
Should have stranglehold. Like the 3-year-old fillies have such a good record in the Arc. They were good at last year when Love couldn't get it to run in it. That was probably her big chance. But it looks like Snowfall definitely won't be ducking the Arc.
Yeah, you have to imagine it will be Yorkshire Oaks next, which has just gone odds on her. You lucky people if you've got an e-board ticket that week. Of course, we've seen some of the top fillies over the years win that, including Love herself last year, an able before that. And the ground won't be a problem to Snowfall come October, the first weekend in Paris at Longchamp. God, will we be allowed over there? Looking unlikely, isn't it? Let's move on. All right, that was a sizzling performance from the ice cool Snowfall. All right, we must go on though. It's the super sprint time. It's 3:40. You can see the market in front of your eyes. We think it's a bit of a match, Barry Orr, but there is one coming in against it. Gubbas, where do you see the super sprint going?
Gubbas 6.8. Yeah, Chipotle is at 3.35, which is just 9 to 4. Vintage Claret's 4.1. So between them, they're taking about little over evens, 50% of the book. Gubbas 7. 17, Sienna Bonnie, Delmona 21, a whole host of horses in there with chance. I'm just going to take on the top end of the market with 2 horses that I thought could run well. So I'm going to Dutch back both of them, please, Tom. Income is the first one for Richard Hughes, was second to Sows, and that became a decent race in Nottingham and was fourth in Goodwood after that. That became a decent race, that Goodwood race. And Showtime's Mahomes is a horse that I like, was beat by Darien and Rippin. He won in Musselburgh since that. And they're both decent prices as well. 34 Showtime's Mahomes. So we'll have 25 on him and 25 on Income at 28. I'm going to take the 2 of them against the field. One's drawn 11 income, and Showtime Mahomes is drawn 3, which is kind of, I think you want a high draw potentially here, but I think either of these could take a step forward. You could stay that about most in the race, but taking on the top end of the market with those two.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, Showtime Mahomes was. I'm glad you mentioned him, Barry. I've got him. He's one of my 3 in the race that I had it down to. I thought the 2 market leaders, it was a bit of a shootout. I've come down on Chipotle. We think that's how it's pronounced. The sizzling hot chili from Eve Johnson Houghton's yard. Much to your dismay, accidental agent one when I was talking to you. And you
It's not my dismay. I wasn't even thinking of backing it. I'm quite pleased to see him win.
Yeah.
But I did tell Eve to, you've got to be a non-trier and go back to Ascot for the Bow Bowl. Ruined it now. I'll be running the QE2 again, wouldn't it? She did say, get me in trouble. There you go. I mean, she campaigns the horses very honestly, and it's good to see him get back in winners and closure, isn't it?
You are against this chap, aren't you, Chipotle?
It's not against. I mean, it's a case of, I thought it'd probably be the 2. I'd be in the one at a bigger price. I mean, what's his name? Richard Fahey said, I thought Vintage Clarets would have won the Norfolk. We went for the Coventry instead. Probably shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
And Chipotle's won the Windsor Castle, which is 2 grades down from the Norfolk. So if that's right,
yes.
if Richard Fahey's right, you would fancy one or the other. Obviously, Chipotle's had that he could be a Group 1 talk in the paper earlier in the week, which does affect your pricing because people pay attention. I don't think there's very much between them. I bet the 2 at the price. The Gubbass money is interesting. I mean, I will read out what Richard Hanna said in the Racing Post today because it's pretty good. Gubbass was very impressed. Won very impressively at Leicester in a race that's worked out pretty well, and he's a colt we've always thought a great deal of. This is a super sprint, so anything can happen, but his work has been very good, and I expect an extremely bold show. There's where your money's come. If you ever look at that race at Leicester, the 5-length third is rated 95 now. And he did win pretty easy, so it's a solid piece of form. I think, what are they, 103 and 105, the top 2?
He hasn't shown his hand yet, has he?
And he hasn't shown his hand. Yeah. And, of course, how many times have the Hannahs won the super sprint?
2 of the last 3, and of course Richard Allen Senior used to win it all the time. Tiggy Wiggy.
You'd be surprised if it's not double figures overall, isn't it?
No, and we saw, of course,
I'm going to have a little
Happy
bit
Romance.
Google that. Yes, she won it last year, didn't she?
Yeah. Often than not, you want to be high. Now, Keith Melrose did a forensic piece on this in the paper on Friday and in the members section. And ultimately, the super sprint on a working man's race was the quote of the week in the paper. Slightly controversial for some people, which is Fahey saying, this is a race that we can go to, take the money with the cheaply bought horse. The cheaper your horse at auction, basically, up until 2017 anyway, you're getting weight, aren't you? But you can see some ludicrously weighted horses, can't you? At big ratings.
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, you can get some very. If you get a cheap horse come along and that has shown some really good form, which obviously does happen sometimes, then they're absolutely thrown in at the weight. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That
Mrs. Danvers, do you remember her?
Yeah, Mrs. Danvers. Yeah.
Johnny Portman.
He's got Sienna Bonnie in this race. I know price-wise Tom Siegel has put that one up. Yes. He likes that horse because he's put it up before. I think at Epsom on Oaks Day when the ground went against her. So
Woodcut.
Johnny Portman's 0 for 27 in the last 3 weeks. If you like trainer form.
Yeah, that's not very good. Happy Romance won the race last year. That was 3rd winner for junior, and senior had 7, so that's 10 from the Hannon Yard since the race's inception in 1991.
Yeah, 99 days ago, that Leicester race, and the more you look at it, you think this has obviously been the target, isn't it? He's got 8-10, of course, so he's got to give weight to Vintage Clarets, but he hasn't shown his hand.
Yeah, he hasn't shown his hand. He could easily be a group horse. We don't know. It's not the sort of race I would be having a smash up in anyway.
But Vintage Clarets on.
Vintage Clarets would be the one for me because I thought
left field that you gone for.
Sorry?
Anything from the left field?
I didn't really see anything, to be honest. I mean, Gilded looks at a rather big price. I mean, obviously he's got plenty of fine with Chipotle, but I mean, you're talking at a stage now where it's nearly 30, 40 bar 4 on the exchange, which is, it shows you how strong the market leaders are. But I mean, there are horses with ability in there as well.
Mixed bag wise, SP winners from this, quite a lot of fancied horses do run it. But there can be a turn up. TC nap time, is it?
Yeah, I'm with Vintage Clarets at 2, like Keels is. I thought that run in the Coventry was really good when he finished 3rd. He hit the front that day. Yes, he was towards the standside rail, which was considered to be a bias. But he quickened up the best in the field if you look at sectionals. And the race efficiency, they went slow early and quickened up throughout. and ended at 99%. So it shows that at the end of the race they were at their fastest. However, Vintage Claret's last furlong was 1 second, virtually exactly slower than 2 furlongs to 1 furlongs out. So he obviously made a big move, couldn't sustain his bid, finished third. I thought that form was better than the Windsor Castle form. Gets £3 from Chipotle, drawn well in 22.
Pretty much right next to each other, aren't they?
Yeah,
Is there concern about the form of the Coventry? You know, the winner hasn't come out of it. Like we've seen what the likes of Eldrick Jones get beat, Maceto got beaten the Curragh, Ebro River, the Habs got beat since.
Couture won, who finished 7th, won the other day.
No, I think until Couture won, it was 0 from 9, but it's only 1 from 9 for the Windsor Castle as well, isn't it?
It's not sizzling form, Barry. You're quite right. But Ebro River ran all right in the July Stakes, didn't they?
Yeah, they're running okay. They probably
Bab ran okay.
They probably, on a whole, run better than the ones from the Windsor Castle have.
There's been one winner, but that's often the case.
That was from a mark of 70. There's been one winner from the Windsor Castle, but that was from a mark of 70.
Big 2 ran badly, didn't he? Basically, the runner-up in the Windsor Castle.
Yeah. So but overall, neither race looks absolute top quality. So if there is one, and the money tells you that one will be Gubbas.
Well, and looks like he's now coming in for money, right? Gubbas, Barry Orr.
Yeah, 6.0 now, so bang on 5 to 1. Chipotle is 3.143. Vintage Claret's 15.5. Sienna Bonnie for Holly Doyle. That's one that's been attracting plenty of support, considering that she's been matched at a high of 70 on the exchange, just for small money at 70, but more significant sums all the way down. For Sienna Bonnie, 16.5 now.
Yeah, okay, so the price-wise horse keeping the market as well. TC, look like you want to get something off your chest, man.
Yeah, well, I'm in a group chat, WhatsApp group chat with a couple of the guys that are part owners of Showtime Mahomes. They've always said that this is the aim for the horse, but they said they've been ruined by the draw. Well, ruined is not the word they used.
Tell them to read Melrose. Okay, all right, the bleep word.
Yeah.
Tell them, I saw an interview after this chat one with one of the owners as well. Yeah, they said, get into it, syndicate, we're having a great time, this has always been the plan. Read Keith Melrose's piece, basically, on Friday. He says, it doesn't matter if you're drawn low, it's kind of said, but it's where the pace is.
Yeah. I think,
why do they think they've been ruined by the draw? They don't think that the pace is going to be at the low numbers?
I think high draw historically.
I know historically.
I think it's that the main
the
players...
market leaders, first three are 15, 20 and 22, aren't they?
Yeah, if you look historically, I think there's a lot of double figures, aren't there? I mean, I must admit, when he came out in 3, I was like, that's a shame. I backed him when he got beaten at Air Barry Showtime Mahomes. He should have won that day. They're giving him a bit of time. It's patient. What I do like about Showtime Mahomes, and I have had a bit of him, like Barry, at a price, I think this has been his target.
Yeah, definitely
better than the 79 horse.
They were saying since...
Not a shilling for him, though. He's out to 50 now.
Since before his debut, there were messages in the group chat saying super sprint, super sprint. So this has always been...
Try and talk you into a leg, did they?
Well, I just joined the NFL Fantasy League, so I think they were trying to get a new man on board. But I haven't had a go here.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, it's exactly that. All right, okay. So this is always going to be the trickiest one to load anywhere, of course, because we've got all these 2-year-olds trying to get in. And Vintage Clarets, he looks like he's the weak one, or is he coming back in a bit now, Barry? Vintage Clarets.
It's all about Chipotle at the head of the market, 298 now, 7 to 2 Vintage Claret. Gubbas is 6.2, 18 Sienna Bonnie, 32 income.
All right, okay. So look,
Amazonia Dream was a horse with Oisin Murphy. I was given a bit of a chance to. That's 55. Not a shilling for him either. So yeah, it's all about the 2 at the head of the market.
Yeah, for our friend the Millmans, of course, Oisin Murphy, interesting bookie. It's a jockey they like to go to when they got a fancied runner. They thought he'd run a lot better at Royal Ascot. He just got too buzzy. So good luck to the Millmans with him. All right, good luck wherever you're playing. Final race of the day here, RP Live. They're off in the super sprint, and a couple of absolutely missed. Amazonian Dream, Oisin Murphy, $1 million from there, I reckon. Where are they going then? Yeah, they want to go far side. It looks like Gilded on the far side to my eye, looking for the big players. Where is
Vintage Clarets is in 5th on the near side, and directly behind him is Chipotle. So
target on the back. Gubbas there as well, Gills.
Gubbas is there, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the far side. Showtime Mahomes a little bit off the pace there, isn't he? And out the back. What's that on the far side? Is that Symphony Perfect? No, that's off the bridle. It looks like El Marga leading on the far side, I think, isn't it? Gilded's over there as well. I tell you what, the far side got the steer here. Chipotle's going to have to get going now,
coming through. Vintage Clarets is labouring,
he needs a run, Chipotle. He's been mullered, Chipotle. No run whatsoever.
Gubbas is finishing.
Here comes Vintage Clarets. He's out of it. Gubbas might just come and take this.
Gilded, the far side.
Gilded on the far side, who kills, gave a mention to. Chipotle got no run. Gubbas coming through. Will Gilded hang on? It's going to go to Team Hannon again, is it? Yes! Okay, Gubbas.
They are amazing, aren't they? They just win this time and time again.
Wow, and Sean Levy, you saw on Falmouth Day what a ride he gave in that Group 1. He did it on Happy Romance. He's pulled it out the fire again. It was a messy race. We'll pick the bones out of it. Barry Orr, it looks like they've punted this chap to success now, 2 from 2.
Yes, Gubbas guided hit a low of 2.1, would you believe, for 230 quid. I'm just trying to look through what else was there. Chipotle and Vintage Claret, I think they both got stopped in their runs. So they 155. Chipotle hit a low of, Vintage Claret hit a low of 2.10 as well. But guided probably, he looked home and hose, but only hit a low of 2.10 in running. The winner had a Betfair SP of 6.37, having been backed at a high pre-race of 38 for small money, double figures, 25 for 24 quid.
Thank you very much, Barry Orr. The final
Look
time
where
today.
Showtime Mahomes came from.
He's absolutely flown. Absolutely, it was a rough race, wasn't it?
Where was he? Showtime?
He flew far side. I don't know. Finished 6th in that group, I think.
Will they go more salesy sort of races with him now?
Well, I'll let you know as soon as I get a beep in my pocket.
We were bleeped by the draw. I think
that
is
was.
what they're going to say.
I think that's
We're
a
watching
Hannum
it back
1-2.
now.
Is that Symphony Perfect?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Oh, it was 1-2 for the Hannons.
It's a Hannum 1-2, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, he's well named, this chap, isn't he? Because Gubbs gilded, I think, on the far side. Just watch. We couldn't see it there. They've just gone to a slow-mo, basically.
I think both of Barry's tips, Income ran really well as well. Stayed on, Eye Catcher. Both are eye-catching, yeah, for next time.
Got its run blocked up the centre of the track
Yeah.
with Spencer. Income. I'd say there's a lot of hard luck stories in the race, isn't there?
One for your members club. Replays then very much there. Yeah, Chipotle got absolutely mullered. I'll tell you what, he would have gone very close, I think. We'll just watch it now on the
They'll
far
have to go
side.
6 furlongs with Showtime Mahomes, I think. He looked outpaced, which is weird, because on his first 3 runs, he showed speed.
Yeah,
outpaced and flew in the final furlong.
Just watch on the near side now, guys. You watch it. Look, Gubbas has just got first run. He's got the dream run, though. Just gone out of shot, unfortunately. But yeah, the door totally shot on Chipotle. I think it was Vintage Clarets and Del Mona that came on him. Absolutely no chance to recover there. It looked Kills, didn't it?
It looked like Gilded was going to have it on the far side, but I mean, Gubbas is, we'll probably see him lining up in the group race next time.
Do you think they'll go to Goodwood with him?
They might do if he comes out of it well enough. I mean,
Malcolm.
they haven't got long.
Yeah,
it could be Malcolm. He could definitely go up to 6, though, couldn't he?
Flying Childers, something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, he could definitely go up another furlong because he was strongest at the death, but he travelled really well.
He did indeed. What are the owners saying? I see your phone buzzing.
Yeah, a couple of messages in the group chat. I think we'll look at 6 furlongs now. Picked up some prize money, ran well from his position.
Yeah, go for one of those sales races if he's in it.
Yeah, he's in the gym crack, Gubbas.
Is he?
He has a gym crack entry. So.
I'll tell you what I like about him. He's still green there, Kills, wasn't he? And he's hit the turbo at the right time.
Yeah. Cracking day for Sean Levy as well.
Yeah, criminally underrated jockey. I'm not going to say underused because the Hannon's given him all the big chances, but he started off at Ballydoyle, Barry, didn't he? And this is a young man. He speaks very well. He's usually in the right place. You see him on the winter all throughout. He got that Group 1. A seriously good rider.
Yeah, I think they have to make him stable jockey going into next year, don't they? Like number 1.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if they don't. He served his time now and he hasn't let them down. I especially didn't let them down in the Falmouth either. So, yeah, I think he's worked his way into that job.
I wonder if some retainers looking at him. Barry, it's been a great weekend. Thank you very much. You got one over the line early on for the charity. Another sizzling Saturday. All about the Open now for you, my man. Are those Desperados being cracked?
Yeah, they're nice and chilled as we speak. So looking forward to them. Looking forward to watching the Open and having a nice weekend. The weather's absolutely smashing over here. So a lot to look forward to over the next 2 days. Thanks for your company and thanks to the lads in the studio.
Thank you very much, Barry Orr, as ever, the big hitter from Betfair. He'll be back next week with us. Kills, good to have you in for your monthly
Thoroughly enjoyed, mate. Thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah, what's the rest of the weekend hold? You're supposed to be having a little chill out of Kills. Is that possible?
I am having a little chill out, yeah. In other words, I haven't had a drink for a week. If that's what you that's what you
Exactly what I meant.
I mean, I had a golf day last Friday, and then Saturday was a bit of an all-dayer because it was
Johnny Drama.
Super Saturday.
Yeah.
And then it was Sunday football, and I thought, hang on a minute. When I got up on Monday, I thought, better take it easy for a few days. So, yeah, just a nice, easy weekend.
Mrs. might actually see you for more than 24
Feet
hours.
up, watch the telly. Well, hopefully she's going to be sitting in the garden or doing something so I can watch the final round of the golf tomorrow.
Something nice and chilled. Yeah, TC?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be watching the golf, going to Brighton with the girlfriend for next week, so it should be
Bit of
fun.
time off, TC, for you.
Yeah, it makes a change, a week off. Looking forward to it. Yeah.
Okay, get the umbrella out because you know what happens is you've had all this time in the studio. Great to have you back, Tom. Good trading today.
Thank you. Yes, 2 US tips before we go. They're in the Patreon
Saratoga,
on the
right?
app. Yeah, Saratoga, first Saturday of their 8-week meet. Best meeting of the year in America. Brilliant track. It's the Grade 1 Diana Stakes at 11:16 tonight. I fancy Harvey's Lil Goyle for Bill Mott. He's won this race 4 times before, between 2005 and 2010. Really good race. Should mention there's some European challenges. Charlie Appleby, Althika, and Summer Romance, who finished first and second in the Just a Game last time. They're in there. Lamista, who used to be trained by Joe Lyons, is in there as well. Pocket Square, ex-Roger Charlton. So there's good European imports.
Love it.
But I like Harvey's Lil Goyle. And the other selection is Bo Liam in a really good 103,000 allowance contest at 10.03. Bolt up on debut, good speed figure, goes well from gate 1, should win for Steve Asmussen.
Love that, don't we? 10-point Tom should win. Check that out, absolutely stateside coming your way. Great meeting. Well, it was sizzling out there wherever you looked, but the snow fell at the Curragh. Did we see the ARC winner? Join us next week. It's King George time here on RP Live.